What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I gotta have a conversation with you guys about Tiege Hanley because you see how the sun is hitting me. This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Tiege Hanley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people, and I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now, and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Tiege Hanley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up to everybody that's in the chat? I know it's Memorial Day. God, it is so much happening right now. Man, I came into the city and it was just like stuff here, stuff there, stuff there. I didn't realize that it was the Electronic Music Festival this weekend, which is one of the biggest festivals ever. Ever. I remember when the Electronic Music Festival used to be free and it was kind of like at Hart Plaza and it was underground and stuff like that. And you would go to the raves and stuff like that. Now it's a whole event. It's a whole event. Downtown is on lockdown. I love my city. Look, as much as I like to visit other places and shout out to San Juan, shout out to Puerto Rico, shout out to all of these places that I visit on a regular basis, and I travel all over the city. I mean, I travel to different cities. There is no place like Detroit, bro. They setting up for the Grand Prix. I'm gonna be at that. That's gonna be on my rooftop. Um, Bunch of parties is happening right now in the daytime. In the daytime, at 10 o'clock in the morning, all I hear is because it's a whole bunch of offshoot day and nighttime parties for the Electronic Music Festival. I could see the music festival. I had to ask the cop to let me get through to go to my place. So it's pretty crazy, bro. It is so crazy. I love this city so much. And they not messing around either. They are not messing around out here. But yeah, man, it's pretty interesting. Nobody has the Red Fest. Yeah, the city is on fire, Sarah. It's crazy. It's so many parties, so much happening right now. Oh, and then the weekend, not the actual weekend, the weekend, the music artist. So he had a show last night, apparently. Oh, no, wait. I think he had three shows. But he did one Saturday, Sunday, and it's another show tonight. And then they got the Tigers baseball game today during the daytime at 1:10 p.m., which I might go to that. I don't know. It's so much happening, bro. It is so much happening. Um, they just announced more new tenants downtown as far as that's gonna be in the Hudson's building. I know Aloe is opening up a store in there. The Apple store opens up. It's a lot happening. So I gotta go out here and document this stuff and see what's happening. Yeah, house music, techno do be lit. What up, y'all? What up to everybody that's in the building? The Cade Cunningham pool party is today. I don't know anything about that. 42 Doug had a major performance with Still Baby Saturday. I do know about that. So he popped out right after getting shot. Yeah, man, it's a lot happening in the city, bro. It's a lot holiday, and but we still working. I've been peeping your content game. Sorry, I've been taking notes. Yeah, if you're not paying attention, somebody says, what platform did I use to stream? I use a lot of different platforms depending on where I am at the time. I was gonna go into the office, but man, getting around the city right now is crazy. And I got my Challenger out, so I've been vlogging that. So I've been capturing the content with the vlog. I'll drop a vlog for y'all tomorrow on the Anton Daniels channel. And the weather is decent. That's right. It is. It's slapping here. It's slapping. If you've never been to Detroit, if you've never been to the city, then you are really, really missing out. Are you going to the Clarissa Shields fight in Detroit at the end of July? I usually do. Usually I'm ringside. I'm ringside at the fight. She always do a fight here. And in the summertime, I'll usually be ringside. I'll probably be there. If my schedule permits, then I'll probably be there. Um, you catch me on ringside. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be dope. How can I pay less in taxes as a 1099 contractor? Well, that sounds like you need to be a bag chaser. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. In a general sense, you need to get some business expenses and you need to be able to separate how much you're paying yourself from because how much you're paying yourself is how much you're going to wind up paying in taxes. Your adjusted gross income, your AGI, is the number that you pay on taxes at the end of the year. And if you're an independent contractor, then that basically means that you're your own business. Whether you got an LLC or not, you're your own business. So think about it like this. If you own a business, whatever expenses that you incur in order to run that business, that you can basically deduct from how much money you make, even though you're spending the money. So let's say, for example, I went and vlogged over in San Juan and I went and looked at property and I also captured a bunch of content. I went down to San Juan in order to create content and vlog. Well, because that is literally my business and I make money from my business and that's how I generate revenue, then everything expense related to that trip should be written off, which includes the plane tickets, the hotels, the rental cars, the Ubers, getting around, any equipment that I needed and bought, anybody that I needed to hire in order to assist me and come with me. All of those are business expenses. So if you want to reduce the amount that you're paying in expenses, then you need to reinvest into your businesses while at the same time making sure that everything you do, you minimize the amount of personal expenses that you buy for yourself. So all of the fun stuff, and you start to focus more on what business expenses is incurring in order to increase the revenue in your business and ultimately make more money. All right. So that's essentially what it is, just to answer your question. What else we got going on? So it's a holiday. I know a lot of people are off of work and stuff like that. Nah, I'm not giving out no more game. I kept it real general. I didn't deep dive like I usually do inside of the Patreon, so it's cool. I was at the Pacers game and I vlogged my experiences. How long does your video need to be usually? Y'all really want to get into this Patreon type content? I don't believe, I'm gonna answer your question because you did pay for this. I don't believe that any video, it depends on what platform you're on. If you're doing YouTube, then no YouTube video unless it's a short. Short should be just short of 3 minutes long. So somewhere between the 2 minutes and 30 seconds to 3 minutes. Because they extended the amount of shorts. And that way you can use it for multiple different platforms. So that way you can use it for other platforms and all of that. YouTube long form content, I'm not dropping a video any less than 8 minutes. The video itself need to be at least 8 minutes long. So that's what I would say. All right. Tap into the Patreon, link is in the description. I actually am doing it on Wednesday. So we're doing a Patreon live stream on Wednesday where I break down some stuff. Man, listen, let me tell you something. I've been working with AI. I subscribe to VO3, which is the latest AI that Google dropped. It costs limited time, it's like $150 a month or $125 a month. I don't remember. And I'm working on it. So I'm gonna show y'all everything content related. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm working on going into content creation and how I'm going to use AI as far as the new software. I think it's gonna go up to, in August, it's gonna be $250 a month for VO3. So I did a video the other day where I was basically breaking down to people exactly how It's scary, it's terrifying. But regardless of how scary and terrifying it is, I am still going to be cooking. So if y'all not a part of the Patreon, if you don't want to be a part of the live stream, then that's cool. I'm gonna be restreaming it on Patreon, or I'm gonna upload it as a video, even if you're not able to catch it Wednesday night. Wednesday, we're doing a Patreon live stream. So I wrote a prompt, right? This was my prompt with VO3. The prompt was, let me tell you what it was. I said, create a video, because now VO3 allows for you to basically create video content with audio added into it. So it does it all on its own with AI. I wrote a prompt. It says, create a video of a 43-year-old black man with a bald head, black lined up beard, wearing a black t-shirt, short sleeve shirt, and black Levi jeans, walking down Woodward Avenue in downtown Detroit in the summertime, having a conversation with a 30-year-old black woman with braids, and talking about moving into the city from the suburbs and the benefits of downsizing her lifestyle. That was my prompt, right? Let me show you what it kicked out. Well, actually, I could just show it to you on my phone. This is what it kicked out. It's crazy.
Moving downtown has been a game changer for me.
Really? How so?
Honestly, moving downtown has been a game changer for me.
Really?
Dog, I'm telling you, bro. Like, I've been messing with this stuff and on top of it and being on it and all of this stuff, and it kicked it out. Here, I'll show it to you right now. I'll show it to you right now. Let's just get into it. It's Memorial Day, so I can mess around. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. Let me present, share screen, Google Gemini. All right, so I'm gonna go in, right? And I'm gonna just copy and paste the prompt itself, but I'm gonna also add some new stuff into it, or I'm gonna remove some stuff. So let's say, for example, that I want to, because I pay a lot. I actually jumped into it. It's video references software. They got VO2, but VO2 don't add the audio. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna add the video, right? And I'm gonna do an 8-second video. This is my prompt. You don't really have to worry about the captions and all of that stuff. I mean, whether or not you got it all the way right. Okay, lifestyle. So I'm gonna create the video, and it take a second. So it's probably gonna take. It says it's gonna take 3 to 5 minutes in order to generate the video. So I bought it so you guys don't have to. And then I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna deep dive real deep in the Patreon. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. But it's crazy. It's insane. I just couldn't believe. Yeah, this is Gemini, but that's the name of it. That's the name of Google's AI toolkit. And then it basically allows for you to create anything, videos, pictures. I'm using it to create apps. So I've basically eliminated my overseas developers. I only got one developer in order to tweak some stuff, but I've been building apps with it. I've been living in this stuff, right? And it also extends into a bigger conversation that I want to have with you guys. And is, if you want to get rich, then don't get into a relationship. All right. I'm gonna bring it all together shortly. But it generally takes about 3 to 5 minutes, all on the plane ride. I had a 4.5-hour plane ride back yesterday, and the only thing I was doing was writing prompts and going through and forcing AI to write applications of things that I literally have in my head, but that I've been procrastinating about getting out. And so I allocated that 4.5 hours to make sure that I basically was working on different stuff with AI, so that I can start to incorporate it into my business, because I got a lot of these different ideas and a lot of things that I got inside of my mind that I definitely want to use and leverage AI for. But then now that the technology is basically replacing it or putting it together for me, it's no reason for me not to leverage it. Now, I do think that it's absolutely scary and terrifying. I think that anybody that is in the marketing game, you are going to be upended, right? You are going to absolutely have your life upended. Yes, I have been building apps with AI, and I plan on launching one within the next month and a half. You created your resume in Gemini? You can. You literally, bro, if you don't have to have a person that's doing resume writing and all of that shit, bro, you have to change. So it literally kicked out the video, but I added a couple things, right? So I removed the woman with the braids, and now I have a woman that just got regular hair, right? And this is the video that it kicks out based off of the prompt.
I think it would be a great change for you. Coming downtown is a big change from the burbs.
Right.
And downsizing is good.
That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. That is insane. I can go through and I can change the prompts. I can modify it, right? I can go through and say, all right, so I want them to be a black man. I could say darker skinned black man. Let's go with the apostrophe. Talking to a 30-year-old black woman with long flowing hair, or maybe I'll change her into a white woman. And let's see what it kicks out. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I did that wrong. Oh, it wrote a whole story for me. All right, so let's go back to video. Let's just do this. How about I do this? I want to leave that prompt up, but I'm going to share this tab instead. So let's go in the video. Let's do that. All right, so let's see what it kicks out really quickly. So while it's I was saying it couldn't do it because it's getting a lot of requests right now. Well, I'm not going to worry about it right now. But anyways, the whole idea is that I've been using this tool and I've been leveraging this tool to better understand exactly what the capabilities are and to see exactly how it's going to turn out. Man, I was making videos and writing prompts and creating applications and doing all of that stuff, bro. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, bro. And so y'all got to get ahead of it. Is it scary? Absolutely. Should the government be getting into it and regulating it? 100%. But you really got to get into it. But let me say this. That wasn't even the original thing that I was going to talk about in the beginning of this show. I was talking to a guy that was next to me on the plane yesterday because I left Rita in San Juan with friends and family. And so she wanted to stay doing that in there. And I had to get back to make sure that I took care of business, right? But I was talking to a guy on the plane yesterday, and he was sitting next to me, and he was saying that he was in sales. And I forgot what kind of sales that he was in, but he was doing really well because we was both sitting in first class, and I had overheard him talking about his daughter becoming a lawyer and all of this stuff. And so, naturally, we just got in a conversation and we was talking, and he was saying that he told his son, because he was an older guy, and I guess his daughter had just graduated law school, and his son was 21 years old, and he was still in college. And he said that he was telling his son that if he wanted a family, that would be great because, they raise him in a family environment and stuff like that. But if he wanted to get rich, then not to get into a relationship. I had to write it down after we had the conversation because I felt like it would be compelling to have this conversation before we get into the show. He said that if you want to have a family, that's all great. And it doesn't mean that you won't be able to get rich or you won't be able to be incredibly successful. as a family man, but that it will be much, much more difficult. And I will tell you that that is absolutely positively true. That is absolutely positively true. Now, some people will debate that, and then I'm gonna add the context, and then we're gonna get into the show. Some people will debate that, and then they will say, "But Anton, you advocate for getting married." I absolutely do. They say, Anton, they say that men that have wives or men that are married are much more successful than men that aren't. That's 100% true. But now we have to add the context, right? If you're poor, right? If you're poor, you have to, if you decide that you want to get into a relationship or you want to have kids or you want to get married and all of that stuff, you have to 100% pick the right person. If you do not pick the right person, if you pick a person that is required, and see, this is the thing. It's not that women are bad. I'm not saying that women are bad at all, but I'm saying that the amount of energy that you have to that you have to allocate to build a relationship or to continue to sustain a relationship is going to be taxing. It's going to take from your life force. So if you don't know how to balance the two while also focusing 100% on your energy on getting rich, you're going to have to make a sacrifice somewhere. Somewhere along the line, it's not even that women are expensive. We're not even talking about the money aspect of it. Somewhere along the line, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. Either you're going to have to make a sacrifice with your sleep, you're going to have to make a sacrifice with your time, you're going to have to make a sacrifice with your work, you're going to have to make a sacrifice in a relationship. Something in there, it's going to have to be a sacrifice because it takes a special woman. Every woman say that they want to be with a man that got money or a man that's on his way to getting money. But the problem is that the reason why women say that they can't be with a man while he's building because he don't have time to nurture a relationship. A guy that is very, very productive, he doesn't have time to nurture a relationship. And so it is most of these guys that wind up getting married. Let me tell you what usually happens. A guy that's on the come up that wind up getting rich while he's married, a lot of times he winds up getting divorced at some point in the process. And then he may remarry a different type of woman that actually understands the lifestyle because the thing that the woman bought into when she married him at first had nothing to do with the man that he wound up becoming. This is the conversation that me and the guy was having on the plane because in order to get rich while you're in a relationship and nurture the relationship, it takes everything. It's gonna take everything. If you listen to a lot of these women online and they talk about it and they say, and they don't even know that they telling on themselves. If you listen to a lot of these women online and they talk about it and they'll say stuff like, you know, he has to make sure that he's attentive and he's an effective communicator. You know, he has to plan the date or do something thoughtful for me and all of that stuff. I will tell you, that is the last thing on a guy's mind that is productive. The last thing that's on a man's mind that is productive is trying to figure out how to make you comfortable. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't love you. It doesn't mean that we're not mindful, but I'm telling you that that is a mindset and that is life energy, life force energy that is reserved for people that work 40 hours a week and come home and focus on you. It's Memorial Day. Can we have a candid conversation? Can we have a candid conversation? I am the type of person that will tell you, and I say this in coaching calls, I've said this in real life. You are not the main character here. Women are getting mad at men a lot of times and they saying, I can't believe these men feel like they're the prize and all of this stuff. And it doesn't mean that a woman isn't prize worthy and that she's not awesome and stuff. But when you meet a certain type of high productivity, successful guy that is 100% knee deep in his purpose, you have to understand. And I say this, I am the main character here. Regardless of how you think, everything revolves around me. Everything revolves around me. I'm the main character. That's it. That's it. That's the truth. Now, most women will have difficulty. Now, first of all, most women ain't dealing with that if you're not a guy that's highly productive, because a woman will make the sacrifice in order to really be able to rock out with you if she loves you a lot, which means that she just rocking with you and she willing to sacrifice everything to be with you. That's A. Or B, she feels like it's value and still getting into the relationship. But what I'm telling you is that the biggest struggle for you guys, all right, and I know it's a lot of people that watch this across all age demographics. I don't care what you do. I don't care if you're a cop, firefighter, you in corporate America, you building your own business, you're a content creator. I don't care what you do. You have a dream and it's a goal, right? And you've had these dreams your whole life. The only reason why these dreams are dying is because you've replaced it with relationships. Most men are not prepared. And this is why y'all need strong fathers in your life. This is why you need a mentor in your life. This is why you need people in your life to inspire you and give you advice, real life advice that has been able to stay married for over 20 years. Most men are not adequately prepared to balance both being in a relationship and being successful. Shout out to Ray Sean. I'm going to read those super chats shortly. I'm telling you the truth. It's beautiful until it's not. Love is perfect until love can't sustain you, because you have to make a decision of whether or not you want to put out another video or you want to go to bed because they've been waiting on you to get in bed for a long time. Whether or not you want to take a trip or whether or not you want to stay home. And you know what? I don't really want to go out tonight because I got this grind that I got to get out. You don't know the balance. You have no clue what it's like to make sure that you're allocating time to nurture a relationship. And then after it's all over, even on your off days at 12, 1, and 2 o'clock in the morning, that's when I cut my computer on and I say, all right, time to get to work. That's what it takes. Now, that don't mean that you're going to automatically be productive just because you're single also. You also got to have that grind in you. You got to have that grit in you. You got to have that hustle in you. The hustle is so separate. So this is for the guys that got hustle. All right. I'm not talking to regular people. I'm talking to people that are looking to be productive, that is trying to figure out, Anton, how do I balance this? Anton, how do I be successful, but I got kids? I don't have the capacity for more than one child. I made the decision in my life that if I was going to have a child, I was going to have one child. That's it. Because I don't want to be daddy daycare. I'm not interested in being the type of person after my child gets past a certain age to be sitting here with 4, 5, and 6 different kids talking about, hey, how can I help around the house? I'm not doing no dishes. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not vacuuming. I'm not doing none of it at all. At all. I don't want to help you raise a new family. Every new kid is a new family. I'm not doing it. Now, and I admire people. I think that there's a certain demographic of people that should have more children, but it takes a special type of sacrifice to have to be there. I did that. I worked from home. I had the opportunity to work from home. I was a software engineer. I had my own businesses. So I was able to be around and really nurture my daughter and participate. I didn't even get an office in downtown. I didn't even come and start spreading out until my daughter was at a certain age where she had matured enough and she could drive. And then I had to create a space to where she can come down and stay down here with me. I'm telling you, it is going to take for guys that are productive, okay? You're going to have to figure out what you want that sacrifice to look like. If you want to get rich and you think that it's going to be too tough to build it with a person, because every woman is going to say that they're going to ride with you, but very few of them can sustain themselves to be with you. You're going to have to pick a unicorn, number one. Number two, if you want to get rich and you think that it's worth it to sacrifice a family for riches, then that's the sacrifice you're going to have to make. But it's going to come at the expense of later on down the line, now women are going to be looking at you and targeting you based off of what they think they can get from you. So it may not be authentic. It may be more difficult to find a person that genuinely cares for you. You see the other side of it? If you want a family, you are much more likely 90 to 99% more likely to be successful, normal successful, solidly middle class, maybe upper middle class. It is very, very difficult to get rich while you have a whole bunch of people carrying them up the mountain. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. And most people don't want to have this conversation. And when you do, you're going to have to be the type of man that say, you know what? I don't really give a fuck about what y'all got going on right now. I'm doing this right now. I'm running it up. I got to sacrifice. I'm living for the next 48 hours. I'm unavailable. Can you stand up to your girl and say, for the next 48 hours, I'm unavailable, and get away with it? If you can't say that to your girl, then you're not built to be in a relationship while you build it. Treadmill singer, check it out. Look, look, look. This is the sentiment of a woman. Your last words are never, I wish I had more money. Think about it. Only poor people say that. I will tell you right now, I've been poor and I've been rich. I will never, ever, ever trade in the life that I live right now to have more time to spend with people and give up my resources. I don't want to. I'm not interested. As a 43-year-old man that has lived 3 lifetimes, I will tell you, I am not interested in making the sacrifice to give up my resources. I don't know who's selling y'all this fairy tale. I don't know who lying to y'all. That has never, ever been a thing. Ever been a thing. You could tell y'all could talk that, y'all won't. You know. Listen. All right, let me have a real moment with y'all. My father sacrificed everything. For the last 3 years of his life, obviously I didn't know that he was at the end of his life. For the last 3 years of his life, my father died when I was 37 years old. No, I'm sorry. He died in 2017. So I was 35 years old. Okay. So I was 8 years ago. We were building him a restaurant. Me and him was working on building him the restaurant. The restaurant that I was opening, that was his. I was looking to retire him, right? Because he was tired. He was exhausted. He was fucking exhausted. He had raised 4 boys, church, taking care of business, helping people, but he didn't have nothing left in him. He was tired as fuck. He was exhausted. And he would tell me all the time, Anton, I'm tired. So I was getting him up out of there. My goal was to be successful because he would tell me, yo, you are my greatest investment ever. And he wouldn't say that because he was looking to get any money out of me. He was just happy that that his boys turned out to be successful. And so I was paying him back. I had become so great. And I was only at the cusp. I was in the beginning stages of my greatness. And so I was paying him back. But let me tell you something. He was exhausted. He was absolutely exhausted. And he will never say it. Like, he will never say anything like, you know, I regret having kids or anything like that, because he really, really did enjoy his life. But I will tell you that if he probably had another lifetime, he would be rich as fuck. My father died broke. He died broke. 100%. I had to pay his back taxes in order to ensure that my mom was taken care of. I know old people right now. I go and visit my grandmother over in Tampa on my mother's side on a regular basis. She has never said, you know what she say to me? Oh man, life, this life. She tripping over that. You know what most people do once you're older? They disappear. People ain't spending their time trying to make sure that you take care of stuff, or they coming to visit you on a regular basis. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. If I live to be 80 years old, to live 79 years in bliss and do what I want to do and have a good fucking time, I lived a good life. I lived a good life. Don't ever believe that being poor is being righteous. It's not. It's not. Don't ever believe that living below your means. You know what poor people do? They take out bad loans. You know why? Because when you're under duress, you make bad decisions. You make bad. Poverty is of the devil. Being poor and broke is of the devil, because oftentimes you result in doing things that you wouldn't normally do if you wasn't under duress. That's why they have payday loans in environments that's less than ideal. I'm just telling you the truth. And so at some point, most people, they make a decision knowingly, subconsciously, consciously, they make a decision. They say, you know what? Either I'm going to resolve to be a regular person and being and I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. When you wind up becoming a regular person, for a man, I can't speak for women, but for a man, that means that you've given up on your dreams. You went to sleep with the Lamborghini on your wall. You went to sleep dreaming about Ferraris. You said that you was going to be a doctor one day. You said that you was going to get rich. You said that you had these dreams and aspirations when you were growing up. Every boy wanted to make it to the league. They wanted to be rich. They wanted to be a rap. They wanted to be something. They wanted to be something. The relationship, a lot of times, is the thing that they resolve to having, or they have kids and they say, well, look, at least I got family. That's the thing that they then say that, you know what? Well, at least I got this. That's the consolation prize. I refuse to settle for consolation prizes. I'm the type of person to go to the fair and I will spend $150 shooting that shot on that slim ass rim trying to win the big prize. I don't want the little prize. I don't want the little bear. I don't want the little unicorn. I want the big fucking bear that don't fit in my car, and I'm going to get that bitch. And I don't care if it costs me $1,000. I'm shooting the shot 50 times. I'm going to shoot it 50. Some people is cool. Oh, it ain't worth it. I'm shooting that shot. I'm going to shoot it 100 times out of 100 times, and I'm going to get the goddamn bear. I want the bear. Give me the goddamn bear. Give me the bear that don't fit in the car. Even if I get a bear away, I won. I won. That's me. That's my personality. I'm not saying everybody has that personality. I'm not saying that everybody should be that. I know that there has to be people that serve you coffee. I know that there has to be people that work in the factories, and I salute them. I know that there has to be police officers. I know that I got a ticket yesterday. Got the ticket yesterday. Right here. Let me cover up my main information. In Detroit. Got the ticket yesterday in Detroit. See that? I'm riding. I'm driving. I'm driving. I'm driving. He said, Anton, what are you doing? Because I had the one cop, he recognized me in the city. He was a black cop. He said, Anton, come on, come on. And it was the white cop. The white cop says, you know, you need to. I said, man, don't talk to me. Give me my ticket so I can go racing again. He said, I'll impound your car. I said, I'll go and get another one. I don't give a fuck. I want to live the life that I don't want to be subjected to other man. He can't tell me what to do. He said, I'll impound your car. I said, all right, I'll get it out on Tuesday and I'm going to go and get another one later on the day. He said, how many cars you got? I said, 10. I said, man, you might as well just give me my ticket and let me go. I said, all right. He went and typed up my ticket. He didn't even give me no real ticket. He gave me excessive noise and tinted windows. Man, give me my ticket and let me go. I'm out of here, bro. Give me my ticket and I'm not worried about you. I don't care nothing about that. This don't mean nothing to me. People worried about student loans. They're worried. And see, it's going to be some people that say, man, they're going to be in the comments when we clip this up. They're going to say, man, Anton, I used to like you. You used to be more normal. I could relate to you. I don't want to relate to you. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to be in the same spaces as you. When I was in San Juan, I went to La Placita. La Placita. I went to La Placita in San Juan. And they had all of the little clubs that was around, and the people was getting drunk. And I said, I looked around and I walked around and I walked around and I walked around and I walked around and I said, this is for regular fucking people. I'm not regular. I'm not regular. I was never meant to be regular. God said, don't be regular. Distinguished gentleman says you used to be humble. I am humble to God, not to the standards of men. When the fuck I gave up? When did I start caring about what other people think? I'm humble to God. All I'm saying is you're going to have to make an honest to God decision before it's too late of what type of life you want to live. I don't care if it's a regular life. I don't care if it's a family life. I don't care if it's a rich life. I don't care what it is. Whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to have to really make that decision. And you're going to have to understand what comes along with it. If you want to get rich and you want to be in a relationship, then you're going to have to understand that it's going to be some problems in that relationship because she's not going to really understand the grind and the hustle on how it is that you're going to get rich. Is it a possibility that she's going to be 100% of the time? Yeah, it's a possibility. Is it something that's going to really take place? Probably not. Are you going to have to do it on your lonesome? Are you going to probably have to do it on your own? Yeah, you probably are. If you get rich and then you got it out the mud by yourself, is it going to be people that, women that want to attach themselves to you just because you at the finish line and they're not? Yeah, probably so. You got to make that decision for yourself. You're going to have to figure that out. Figure it out. Vita says you are not humble to God, so stop it. You just like hearing yourself talk. Okay, well, let's say that that's true too, right? Because really, your relationship with God is nobody else's business. So let's say, for the sake of conversation, that that's true. And what the fuck you gonna do about it? I profess my love to God because I just love God. I don't have to do that for y'all. That don't give me no extra bounding points. That don't give me no more subscribers. I say that because I just stand on what it is that I stand on and I love God. But let's say, for the sake of conversation, that that's true. And fuck you. Now what you gonna do? What you think it's gonna be any less subscriber? You think my subscriber count gonna go down or something like that? I don't give a fuck. And now what? What if I told you, let me not go there. Let me not go there. Because see, again, I am extra ultra that. Whatever it is that you want to label me is, I'm that. I'm 100% that. And you know what else is so interesting about it? You had to subscribe to write that comment, meaning that you still on my dick no matter what. You still here. I could say that you suck, you a piece of shit, that throw you out with the garbage, you need to go to jail, and you still gonna, you know why? Because you can't fucking turn the TV, you can't turn the YouTube off. There's nothing that you can do about it. I am ordained. I am absolutely 100% supposed to be exactly where I am right now. And there's nothing that you can do about it because that's the way that God made it. I'm supposed to be rich. I was supposed to be here. It said in a word, it was before the formation of the earth. There's nothing that you can do about it. I was blessed to be here in the United States of America. As Anton Daniels in 2025, it just is what it is. I wasn't born in 1410. I'm born in 1982, and I'm supposed to be rich right now. What you gonna do about it? This ain't crashing. This is winning. See, y'all think getting rich and talking your shit is crashing. That's because your mother taught you how to be feminine. They didn't teach you how to be a man. In today's society, we've been conditioned to silence ourselves. It used to be the biggest big block that's in your motor. That's the one that we all love. We used to only care about winning. We used to big each other up and be celebrating. Man, you gotten rich. They teach me, big dog. Let's do business together. Now y'all want to humble each other because that's what women do. You a bitch. Your mama taught you how to be a bitch, and so you don't even know how to stand in your masculinity. We used to just build shit just for the sake of building it because that's what men do. That's how buildings came across. They didn't build it for a need. They built it for their ego. Don't nobody care about your weak humility. You can take that humility home with your girl and watch her look at she. You know what she want? You know what she want? Somebody that talk just like me. A man's man. A man that do shit, build shit, talk his shit. Grab her by the fucking neck and bend her over the couch. That's what she want. She don't want your fake humility. Oh, we all need to be humble. Nigga, she don't want you. Your mama don't like you. They think you feminine. They think you feminine. They don't like you. That is never a desirable trait. Nobody cares about your fake humility. Nobody. Nobody. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's not, what did the women say? Demure. All of y'all, look, they do. Not Daryl. They all want a participation trophy. Oh, acknowledge my pain, acknowledge my pain, acknowledge my suffering. You're a player too, ass. You player too. Everybody want to win. Everybody want to win. Every country want to win. Every competitor want to win. Every owner want to win. They all competing against each other. They all competing against each other. Turn down that femininity in your soul, dog. Get some backbone. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Surprise your girl and just so happen to kiss her out of the blue. Stop asking for permission on your wife. Can I touch you? Is it okay? Is this a safe space for you? What is your love language? I don't give a fuck about your love language. They all the same. They're all the same. See women go. They all the fucking same, bro. Care about your love language, gifts of appreciation, words of affirmation. Get your big head ass in here and make something to eat. Anybody got time to be sitting there talking to you? My skill set is your skill set is that kitchen right there. That stove haven't been turned on in 3 days. What are you doing? 3 days. I don't even want to know what's in the refrigerator. That's for you to figure out for your ingredients. 3 days. That's your limit. Get in there and get them goddamn dishes done. Keep on talking to these women. How do you feel today? What's your background trauma? Yo, who? Started talking about her past. I'll be thinking to myself, boring. You got to come with a better story than that. I'm so tired of hearing about what your daddy did to you when you was younger and how he ain't pay no child. I don't care. Matter of fact, where your daddy at? What up, though? Boring. Y'all keep going to therapy. Grown men keep going to therapy at the advice of women. You let her talk you into going to therapy. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You a man. You supposed to be the way that you are. He doesn't like to talk, and so we're gonna go through a process. You don't need no therapy, nigga. You need you don't need no therapy. You don't need no. I promise you, bro. If you are a man, you don't need therapy. You need more activity in your life. Get out there and get in them streets and get hustling. Your therapy is money. Hustle. Where my therapy at? Go get my therapy. I feel so much better. Therapy. Therapy. Feels so much better. This is so fucking therapeutic. You don't need no therapy. You don't need no therapy. You know what you need? Some money. People only need therapy because they broke. You need no therapy, man. That one's weird. You don't need no therapy, dog. You don't need no therapy. You don't need none of that. You don't need no therapy, bro. Let me show you what my therapy is. You don't need no therapy. You don't need no therapy, bro. Matter of fact, I'm about to switch this up real quick. You don't need no therapy. Want me to show you what therapy is? This is therapy. That's therapy. All of that is therapy, bro. You don't need no therapy. We're gonna switch to this one now. You don't need no therapy. Oh, we got a whole nother. We got cases for days. You don't need no therapy. You need some money. Fuck therapy. Matter of fact, I don't even want to wear that one. I'm gonna go Omega today. Let me go put these back. We got a show to do. Don't worry about it. We got a show to do. We got a show to do. $10K on hand. Better try 50, 60. Always keep your receipts inside of the box. All right. Always keep your receipts. They said we had to do 2 different transactions. That's the 10. That's the 40. All right. 2 different transactions. It said, Anton, those must be fake. Ain't nothing about it fake. Ain't nothing about it fake. Okay. 2 different transactions, same day. Same day. All right. So that was for the Sky Dweller. That's the rose gold joint. So, all right. That was for the Dusties. I like to entertain them. I like to entertain them. Y'all ready to get started with the show? I'm a rubber band man. Old habits go to die young. Old habits go to die young. Play money. Play money. Nothing on the back of a truck. Everything that come out in real life. I will tell you this. I've given Rolexes away as gifts. 50,000 plus Rolexes away as gifts. That's the honest to God truth. And do not silence the Dusties. We need them too. All right. Y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. I got a land dweller on order also. Rose gold. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and a platinum. And let's get started. Let me read some of these super chats. We're an hour in, but I think we're ready to get into the show. Purple Haze says, I was at the Pacers. Oh, yeah, I read that one. Shout out to you, Purple Haze. I appreciate you. Mr. Lott, I hope you're enjoying the city, Mr. Lott. Says, just showing love, bro. Thanks for the game. Salute to the Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I tested the VO3 yesterday, and it makes me want to do better with photography and videography. Not afraid of AI at all. Now you're thinking, you got to embrace it. You can't run away from it. Tech Coach Ralph says, AD, check out Google Stitch when you get a chance. I was able to get me a UX UI design, which I copied into Figma in about 15 minutes. You use Figma? I use Adobe XD. Chris Cunningham says, I created my resume off of Gemini, and it definitely works. I'm about to make moves. I'll make a movie off of Gemini. Shout out to Ray Sean, as usual, one of the greatest bag chasers. You know what Ray Sean's biggest problem is now? Taxes. Trying to figure out how to reduce his taxes because the dude is about to be a millionaire. Your car in the building says, preach. This is the true sentiments of a man that want to be successful and married. Talk about it. Little Black Duck says another aspect is building wealth from scratch with family obligations that can exponentially increase your aversion to risk. James says so much truth is being said right now. Thank you, AD. Poor is people overlooking opportunities repeatedly, says the ENT shop. Jermaine English, what up though? Chris Cunningham says Memorial Day game salute. Never go unnoticed with me. Never give up on yourself and your dreams. Never. Got to have a conqueror spirit to win at life. Patrick Freeman says, I got you. Shout out to Patrick Freeman. Never let anyone pull you down ever, King. Shout out to Pop. I appreciate you, Pop. Talk that talk, big. See, it's more of us than them. It's way more people that's wanting to win than them. Talk that talk, big bro, says Malik. Ash says, AD, talk your stuff. Never hating on a man who is successfully married and rich. God Almighty continue to bless you and your family. You are only offering the truth. Salute. 392Q says, Anton is clocking T and spitting facts. Give it to me straight, no chaser. You got it. I'm going to give it to you. Betrayal says, when you're going through hell, get through it fast. The middle class is nothing but hell, but you got to ask yourself, are you copy worth duplicating? Chris Cunningham says, y'all still asking for box while y'all married. Facts. Kiwan says, Mr. and Mr. Rodriguez, high school sweetheart, started Miel Organics and recently sold it for like $600 million. Would you and Rita have a roundtable with them specifically to discuss this topic? I don't really like my chick being on social media, but I'll look into it. Thank you, babe. 392 says, F therapy. When I get paid and lead the gym, I feel better. Talk to him. And then you get in the AP. That was Kevin Samuels' things. Kevin Samuels loved APs. Delt Trey Rex says, tell them feminine ninjas to shut the F up and put on their sundresses and obey. A lot of folks have forgotten what our Proverbs 30:31 women. A lot of these fake churches don't even preach or believe in Old Testament scriptures. They use Paul's wordings to twist the word of God into their own desires. That land dweller is different. I just literally contacted my 2 authorized dealers in order to get to the land dweller. That's a fact. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the show. Make sure y'all that was a nice appetite whetting thing. All right, y'all. For the guys of y'all that do want to be stressed out, I thought that this story was pretty interesting. A man kills himself after going to kill his girlfriend and his wife. I couldn't believe it when I seen it myself. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Check this out, fam.
Happening now, Dalton police are investigating what they believe is a double murder suicide. They say a man shot and killed his wife before driving to another location to shoot and kill his girlfriend. Then he turned the gun on himself. Fox 5's Eric Mock is live from the scene of the first murder that's on Moore Street there in Dalton. Eric, walk us through this tragic event.
Eric, really very tragic. You know, we're learning from police that they actually responded to the Murray Avenue apartments yesterday evening around 6 p.m. because the woman who lived here, her coworkers, called police. They were worried because she hadn't shown up to work for several days. And when police got inside her apartment, they unfortunately found her dead with an apparent gunshot wound to the head. Now, detectives then looked through surveillance video from the apartment complex and saw a suspect leaving her apartment on Wednesday evening. They tracked that suspect's vehicle to an apartment complex on Shadow Lane. That's about 3 miles away from here. Now, while waiting for a search warrant to go in there, police say the father of the second victim actually showed up to the apartment to check on his daughter. And when he went inside, he discovered her and another man dead inside. Investigators believe the man shot the woman there as well before shooting himself. Now, police say at this time they believe the suspect was married to the first victim and the second victim was his girlfriend.
All right, let's oh, we chasing down local news early in the morning on a Memorial Day. Listen, bro, listen. Let me try to summarize this. So, for whatever reason, and we're going to make some assumptions because that's all we have to go off of right now. For whatever reason, he was married to the first chick, killed her, left, went over to his girlfriend's house, killed her, and then he killed himself. Bang, bang. Jesus. Treadmill Singer says pride. Pride comes before fall. No, pride is a gay parade that y'all like to rock out with. That ain't the type of pride that we talking about. It's 2 different types of pride. You got to have a level of pride in yourself as a man. To be prideful means that you're unable to hear. You can't hear anything. Nobody can tell you anything. And so your lack of understanding combined with the fact that you think that you know everything is the thing that's going to have you having a hard ass. You got to be made an example of. The pride that you talking about that you think that comes before fall, which none of us is associated with, is the one that they marched down the street for, and they use a rainbow flag that was perverted from God. That was the covenant that God made with man to make sure that he would never flood the earth again. We don't deal with that type of pride. All right. You have to have pride as a man. You have to carry yourself as a man. All right. And if you got it, Treadmill Singer, then make sure that you got it for yourself. You don't look, you're never going to humble me. We're not worried about it. All right. It's 2 different types of pride. But do your thing. Somebody said, what is a $60,000 watch supposed to do? The same thing that a $5 one is supposed to do, but that's your style. Why you wear a $5 one?
So 3 people now dead because of this murder-suicide. Police have not released any any identities of the 3 victims, the 2 victims and the suspect yet. So we're still waiting for those. And again, this is a developing story, so there's a lot more details to come, and we will bring you them as soon as we have them. For now.
So the dude goes off, kills his wife, goes over into his girlfriend's house, kills her, and then kills himself. What type of nonsense? What could possibly be talked about or communicated about? What type of issues? And I want y'all to protect, because you know the chat is my co-host. Chat. What could possibly be happening to where a person feels compelled to go and kill both chicks that's in his life? You telling me that neither one of them was able to give him peace? Neither one of them was able to give him peace. Tell me what he did. Tell me what. Girlfriend was about to tell the wife. One of them found out about the other one. That's a lie. That's the biggest lie that they ever told you, Will Nola. Peace does not start within you. Sometimes there can be disturbing forces around you that disturb your peace. He was gay and he got caught. He got his child support bill. Couldn't maintain a double life. Money is messed up. That could be a thing. Here's the thing that I have a question about, C. Diggs. Why are people? Because I think that there's levels to this, right? Back in the day, guys used to, guys that, well, you know what? I take that back. Because I knew plenty of guys that was in the plant that had been in the plant for 40 years by the time that I had gotten there. And they was taking care of two families. Since the beginning of time, guys have always had multiple families. That is pretty interesting. But why are guys today? That's the thing that I'm trying to understand. Why are guys today crashing out over it? The guys that I knew back in the plant when they was at Ford and Ford Steel and Local 600, man, I'm not even sure both of those families or any of those multiple families even knew about each other. C. Diggs, well, yeah, that was before social media. Back in the day, I'm not even sure that they even knew. It was not uncommon for Paul, when he died, for people to start discovering their long lost family members. Yep, people will find out at the funeral, Miss Crotty Shetty. It was not uncommon for Paul, when he passed away, for you to find out that you got a whole lot of brothers and sisters out here in these streets, and they be looking just like you. They was looking just like you. They showed up to the funeral. This is not normal. It's not normal for guys to be crashing out like this and having double murder suicides on the hit list. What would cause for somebody to actually kill the wife? And they had two different apartments. Apparently, they was only 3 miles apart. He was keeping them 3 miles apart. He kept wifey at one apartment, girlfriend at the other apartment, killed both of them, and then killed himself. So what if they all had HIV and got passed to them from both women? That's not a death sentence no more, apparently. Ain't y'all, what y'all taking, PrEP? Y'all take y'all pills and then y'all take PrEP to not to be able to pass it on to people? A lot of people like, skip that. That ain't no death sentence. We still out here moving and shaking. I did an interview with a woman on the Anton Daniels channel that wound up getting married to a guy that didn't even have HIV after getting HIV from a man that was a poppin', that was supposed to be real visible. Something in the water. You said married and hold on. Hold on, it was somebody else that said something. More commercials. A Black Denim. Black Denim says married to one, sneaking with the other is not a flex. Just stay single. That's true. I don't think it was that they didn't know each other though. It's impossible for them not to know each other and they 3 miles apart, right? They can't not know each other. I think that most women know when they guy got another girl, and how they choose to deal with it, whether they want to stay or not, that's up to them. But in this type of situation, man, listen, bro, I don't think that any of this is worth killing yourself over or killing other people for. That's unfortunate because you can't have no resolve. Everybody is gone. Everybody can't do nothing. Everybody loses. Nobody actually benefits from it. And so this is absolutely unfortunate. Somebody said I'm flexing my single life. Ain't nothing wrong with being single. Poly relationship going wrong. Got the girlfriend pregnant. Y'all that messed up. Jesus Christ. Women have all chat groups saying that they dating the same men. I don't know, but it's unfortunate that he took both of their lives, and I don't like to see that. But anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I want to move over to Los Angeles really quickly, but shortly after I read some of these super chats. Oh, and let me read some of the cash apps too. Got to make sure that I acknowledge the people. Shout out to my girl Molly. Molly all up in the building in the collection plate. Shout out to my girl Molly. I can't wait to see Molly tomorrow night on After Hours. And shout out to my dog, Mike That Dude. I appreciate you, Mike That Dude, for holding us down. Thank you, Mike. Chase Barnes says, happy Monday, ADM peeps, for your watch collection. How did you get into collecting and wearing timepieces? Did you start large or small? My first watch was a Submariner date. I actually bought it outside of Chicago. I documented it, so you can actually go and see that on my other channel. Everybody can see that all of my watches, me going to the watch dealer and buying them. Now when I buy a watch, I don't document it anymore because I don't know. I just kind of do my own thing, and I like living life offline too. But my first watch was a Submariner date. I think I paid a little over $9,000. That was back when you can just walk into an AD, authorized dealer, and be able to purchase it. So that was my first one, was a Submariner date. You remember that video, Royal Gold? That was the first one. I've always loved watches. I've always loved all of the things that I've loved. So the things that I grew up loving, I used to buy this magazine that was called the Rob Report, right? And the Rob Report would detail all of the luxurious lifestyle stuff. So it would tell you about all of the nice cars and what the yachts were and what people was wearing and all of this stuff. And this was when I was really, really young. I used to get this magazine called the Rob Report. And it would just detail the lifestyle. And so two things that I wanted. I wanted a Lamborghini Countach and a Diablo. And I said that I was going to get one when I grow up, and I'm going to get mine delivered. I've been on a wait list for about 2 years now for the new ones. And I wanted some Rolexes. When I started to research the market, so for example, of course, I never talk about the dusty stuff and all of that stuff that people are saying. I just kind of troll a little bit. But when I started doing research, I started trying to understand the watches that actually held value. What I realized is that my luxury purchases also sustained itself. Some of them are worth more than what I paid for it, A. And then B, it allowed for me to have an asset. So these watches, for example, these watches are an asset that I can actually wear. Most of them appreciate, and they worth more, equal or more than what I paid for. And it's almost like having cash that's reserved, but you can still enjoy the nicer things, right? So a lot of people, they waste. I believe that you should get the nice quality thing that holds its value instead of spending a whole bunch of money on stuff that you can throw away. Some people, like, for example, some people will say, well, why would you spend that on that? The same reason that you over time spend the amount of money that you spend on your clothes, but you throw them away and give them away and then throw them in the trash, except for my stuff still holds value. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that I buy is the stuff that I like, but at the same time, I prefer to try to buy stuff that retains its value over a period of time. Or I need to be able to write it off. There's cars that I buy that I lease that I can write off because it's in my business name. And then there's cars that I buy that's above a certain weight that I can write off because of the weight requirements. And then there's other cars that I buy that retain their value. I got a 96 Impala, 100% original, less than 30,000 miles on it. I won't do anything to it. I just love the car. But at the same time, the car is now worth more than what I paid for it. I got a 911, a Porsche 911 that has less than 400 miles on it, but I like to break it out and drive it every once in a while. It retains its value. It's one of the cars that I've always wanted. I'll eventually trade that in and get a GT3 RS. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you just want to make sure that the stuff that you like, you work hard for it. You should be able to buy what you want. People, you know, the same people that say, well, you know, how come you don't get a Casio watch? They can go and get some Levi jeans that cost $75, $100, right? And I could say, how come you don't go and get Jordache? Why are you wearing Nikes instead of wearing Stadias? Why you didn't go get some Kung Fu Shacks? It's all relative. You know what I'm saying? The person in the Kung Fu Shacks is going to ask the person that's in the Jordan 11s, why you spending money on Jordan 11s? But the people that's wearing Jordan 11s is going to justify it and say, well, this ain't even really that much money. Go and talk about the person that's wearing Balenciagas or Balmains. So it's all relative. Once you get to a certain level, you do what you want to do, but at the same time, you start to get assets that retain its value over a period of time. So it's all relative. That's why you don't pay attention to it. You just understand the game. James Reed says, been teaching young men those thoughts on wealth years. Good to have more voices like yours out there. Shout out to James. You get it. You get it. Sly White says, having a couple of bands on hand and an assortment of rollies is indeed therapeutic. Thou shalt not be dusty. Ecclesiastes 10, money answereth all things. Tell them to go humble the book. Facts. DK says, I know it's kind of old news now, but have been following you. Have you been following Richard High? Who was Richard High? He's the Buffalo, New York SVU detective that exposed the Buffalo School District covering up the abuses of kids and obstructing police investigations. I haven't heard of it. Send it to me in my email. Twyla Sanford says, what up, though? What up, Twyla? I used to know a girl that was in my neighborhood named Twyla. Are you Twyla? I have never seen nobody else with that name. She was cute, too. Watches like Rolexes appreciate and value slow people. Don't explain it to them. Let them keep saying what they're going to say. Tell them this. You wear your watch to tell time. I wear mine to tell you how much my time is worth. Woo! I got on the Omega right now with the rose gold outline. Jean says, Anton, talking about language today. We need to see this out of you more often. What else is there to do today except for get money? Tim Stepney says, what up, Mr. Daniels? What up, Tim? Chase Barnes says, appreciate the backstory behind your watch, your luxury watch come up. Chase and 10 says, what up, AD? Would you ever drop some merch? I don't know. People keep telling me to. I've been denying it for years. I've been chilling. The manager says, good morning, Anton. Sending a 40th birthday shout out to my hubby. Happy birthday to hubby. Happy birthday to your hubby. 40th birthday. 40 is a good age. It's a really, really, really good age. I wonder if he gonna buy something big for himself. Anyways, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications. Let's go over to LA. I want to go over to LA. This is a really, really big story right now. They saying that a mob has taken over Los Angeles. I don't know how true that is, but let me share my screen with you guys. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Police in riot gear cracked down on a mob gone out of control near downtown Los Angeles late last night. A large group vandalized police cars, metro trains, and businesses. Welcome to the Fox 11 Weekend News. I'm Laura Diaz. Susan has the night off. The chaos left a trail of destruction. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez live in downtown LA with what happened. Christina?
Yeah, you can see some of the destruction behind us, some of the windows as they tried to break in. You'll notice that people who work in this area did not want their faces on camera when we talked to them. They say this crowd was pretty scary. Take a look. Crowds of people leaving the rooftop of an empty warehouse on Trinity Street in downtown LA. LAPD responding to what they describe as an
They're not even scared of the police, bro. Look.
Leaving the rooftop of an empty warehouse on Trinity Street in downtown LA. LAPD
They're not even moving. They don't care. They're not even moving. The police go out there, they stand and they pull out their phone and they start recording. Dang, that's crazy. Let me get this for the gram. Let me get this for TikTok. They're not moving, fam. I said that this was going to happen, didn't I? I said that this was going to happen. I said that everything was going to become so bad in LA that it was literally going to become like the movies, that businesses was going to leave, that the small businesses were going to be under duress. Let me tell you, the small businesses, they up their insurance. The small businesses are up in their insurance. Why are the small businesses up in their insurance? Not so that they can rebuild. They're up in their insurance, hoping that you guys come in and burn that junk to the ground, tear it up, absolutely terrorize it, so that they can hopefully get a payout and leave. 2025 LA is Detroit 1967. 2025 LA is Detroit 1967. I'm telling you, bro. If you are in Los Angeles, and I ain't talking about the rich suburbs and all of that stuff. If you are in Los Angeles, get the hell up out of there if you can. Get all of the money that you can up out of it and get up out of there, family. Leave. Just leave. Just leave. I'm telling you, it's going to get worse before it get better. They not even caring no more. They coming out in droves, and you know what the worst part about it is that they're going to come back later and they're going to act like, and these is all liberals. You know they all voted for Kamala Harris, right? And Biden. They're going to come back and they're going to act like somebody did something to them. Oh my God, it's the system that destroyed our neighborhoods. And it ain't just, those is mostly white people. I see mostly white people, mostly others. It ain't just black people. It's a mixture. It's a mix. It's a mindset.
Responding to what they describe as an unpermitted music event that quickly escalated. Fireworks lit on the street as the crowd moved on to Washington Boulevard, with LAPD tactical units right behind them. Video here of metro trains covered in graffiti. Police saying the line was temporarily stopped in Washington, where partiers marked up the trains as they banged on windows at stuck passengers. The crowd leaving their graffiti marked not only on the trains, but the businesses all along Washington at Trinity.
It definitely is a lot.
Dumbfounded customers reacting at the few businesses that opened today at a mini mall off Washington, where almost every inch of walls and windows covered with graffiti. Hundreds and hundreds of people. Y todo este graffiti, all this stuff. It could have been worse, he says, pointing to the only broken windows, those of the Wava Grill, that remain closed. They went overboard, says the man at a mobile key business. His concern echoes others I spoke with off camera who say they'd seen illegal party crews come out of the surrounding warehouses, scribble some graffiti, but nothing quite like this.
Kids will be kids, but yeah, it's definitely a bit much.
Man, them ain't no kids. Them is grown folks, bro. Those are not kids. Those are grown people that already had spray cans. They had already said that they was going to do this. They already came together, and then that's what it wasn't. No, which y'all thought that it was a place that was open for them to go and get some spray paint so that they'll start to do it after late night at night, after they get out of their unsanctioned music event. Man, it's bad, bro.
Yeah, a little too much sugar or something.
or
Look
something.
at all of the graffiti behind her. Look at it over on the right-hand side. It's graffiti everywhere.
Indeed. Now, no arrest, but LAPD saying they did have one officer injured, transported to a hospital. The extent of the injury is not known, although we are told they are not life-threatening.
0 arrests. 0 arrests, y'all. Nobody got arrested. Nobody. Congratulations, Karen Bass. Congratulations, Gavin Newsom. You guys are the greatest, the best, the most awesome leaders that we have ever seen in our entire life. Bro, I revved my car too loud and they gave me a ticket yesterday. Real talk. I revved my car too loud. Dog pulled me over and said, yo, he says, I was in a young dude car. I was in the Challenger. I was in the Challenger yesterday. I revved my car too loud. They said, woo, woo. I said, he said, bro, he said, let me tell you something. And this is the honest to God truth. He said, we got a 0 tolerance. 0. Nobody is going to be down here causing no problems down here in downtown Detroit. I said, man. I said, y'all serious? He said, we not playing no games, bro. He said, we got a 0 tolerance mandate. Anybody even blink the wrong way, we going to come through and we straight up going to make sure that y'all address. He said, you're not going to rev your car because that's, I said, why not rev the car? He said, because it's a possibility. He said, because young people don't know how to control their cars. Then they spin out, they start something. He says, it's people walking down the street, people going to the weekend concert, music festivals, Tiger games. He said, it's all kind of stuff. He said, man, there ain't nobody about to be causing no problems down here. They got police on the water. Let me show you. Y'all don't believe me? Y'all don't believe me? You see them boats out there? I don't know if you can see them boats out there. Those are police boats. There's one right there. It's actually one right here. I don't know if y'all can see about a boat. Hold on, let me see if I can see. It's one right here too. That's a police boat. One right there. That's a police boat. All of those are police officers. There's one down there. All of those are police officers. They're not messing around, bro. They are not fucking around. Come down here and cause a problem if you want to. All of those is police boats out there. They pulling people over on boats. They pull them out on cars. Rev too much. I just took my ticket. I said, that's cool. I ain't tripping about it. You can see what it says. Look at the remarks. Oh, he added a little extra on here. He added a little extra on here. Now, come on now. That wasn't all that deep. I don't think it was that deep. He says, observed a white Dodge Challenger revving his engine and screeching his tire. No, ain't nobody screech my tires now. And aggressive shifting. They're not messing around. They're not messing around. They said you can't beat that. It's only a noise ticket. All they gave me is a total noise ticket. See, look, noise right here. Excessive noise and tinted windows. I don't even know what aggressive shifting is, but they're not messing around, bro. And I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful. I deserved my ticket. I want my ticket. I'm going to give it to my lawyer to handle, and then we're going to go from there. But I'm very thankful. I want order. I don't want chaos.
Our top story, a midnight meetup spills into the streets, leading to widespread destruction in downtown LA. Metro trains, businesses, and an LAPD cruiser all tagged with graffiti, and so far no one has been arrested.
They
Good
painted the
evening. Thank you for
cars?
joining us. I'm Kathy Barra.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mikhailo Medina in for Jonathan tonight. Now, last night, police responded to calls about a rooftop party near Trinity Avenue and 16th Street.
By the time midnight hit, they say people were tagging property, setting off fireworks, fire breathing, someone even climbing a street light. NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi is live from police headquarters and just got a response from the mayor on what happened here. Camilla.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what the mayor got to say.
Yeah, hi, Kathy and Mikhailo. At last check, a spokesperson with the LAPD says so far no arrests have been made. And Mayor Bass's office tonight telling NBC4 that they are working with LAPD on this. And LA Metro says the vandalism of two of their trains led to service being delayed. And as we just mentioned, the chaos from this weekend can all be seen on video. The chaos erupting south of downtown Los Angeles Saturday night. In this video, you can see a mob taking over this intersection. A Metro train vandalized, some businesses also tagged. Video also showing an LA.
They don't even have face coverings. Man, don't LA got facial recognition software? California don't go facial recognition software? All of these people need to be arrested. All of these people need to be thrown in jail and prosecuted to the furthest extent of the law.
Vandalized, some businesses also tagged. Video also showing an LAPD unit covered.
Look at this.
In spray paint. The LAPD says it first got a call just.
They can't even do nothing. That's crazy. This is like a video game. They throwing fireworks at her.
Unit covered in spray paint.
Oh, they threw
Video
spray paint
also
at her.
showing an LAPD unit covered in spray paint. The LAPD says it first got a call just before 9 p.m.
Dog, they are spray painting the vehicle while she is getting in the car. Oh my dog. I would not think that this was real. If you would have told me that this was real, no way, no freaking way that they are spray painting the vehicle and throwing stuff at the cop while she's getting in it. Dog, this is insane, bro.
Saturday about reports of a rooftop party at Trinity Avenue and 16th Street. It was then shortly after midnight Sunday, the LAPD says they got a call about 5 suspects vandalizing the inside of a train car. According to LA Metro, about 50 trespassers blocked 2 A-line trains at the intersection of Washington Boulevard and Maple Street. LA Metro says trespassers spray painted on both trains, even getting inside one of them. The operators and passengers were not injured. Service was delayed for about 20 minutes. In this video, you can see a large crowd of people scattered on the street, someone tagging the pavement. People can also be seen climbing on traffic lights and doing the same thing too. The LAPD lined the area trying to disperse the crowd. NBC4 spoke with 2 women who live near Washington Boulevard. They didn't want to share their names.
Necesitamos más protección porque no nos sentimos seguros.
One of them told us they need more protections and that they don't feel safe. She also told us her friend's car and her cousin's car was also targeted by the vandals over the weekend. The second woman also telling NBC4 she is hoping for things to change and that she now has to fight to repair her car.
Yo, oh, this is from the mayor's office.
And that statement from Mayor Bass's office tonight reads, "This kind of behavior is totally unacceptable and has no place in our city. We are in contact with the LAPD about this, and our office is reaching out to the businesses who were impacted to offer our support. Those involved must be held fully accountable." The LAPD tells me a vandalism report was taken for the incident on Washington and Maple again. So,
did y'all see her statement? Y'all tell me why we need women in leadership again. Tell me about why we need women in leadership. You need tough leadership, and you got to make an example out of these people. You got to nip it in the bud the minute that they feel complete, completely like they can do what they want to do, this is what happens. You got to nip this in the bud. You got to make examples out of people. You need to crack some heads. And nobody got arrested. Nobody got arrested. Don't ever talk about another city. If you live in Los Angeles or in the Los Angeles area, don't ever in life mention another city. Don't even mention Chicago. Don't mention Texas. Don't mention Houston. Don't talk about nothing. Don't talk about nothing. Y'all got major problems. And you know what? I'm cool with it because I think that these people need to be left to their own devices. And you know what the worst part about this is that they actually got the Olympics and the World Cup and stuff coming in Los Angeles in 2026, right? They can't even protect their citizens. Good God. Look at this. And the mayor ain't nowhere to be signed. Ain't nowhere to no. Somebody said Chicago is pretty bad. And no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. When you got that, when they taking over the streets and nobody got arrested, when they was basically painting the car while the cop was getting into it. You know what about this cop? Let me tell you something, bro. Let me see something. This cop right here. Let me see if I can find it. How, dog, she can't have a boyfriend. Can't have no husband, can't have a boyfriend. Ain't nowhere in the world that my girl is gonna be working on late night and that type of stuff. She come home, I see her on the news, or she said, yeah, honey, they was throwing stuff at me. You quitting immediately. That's it. And this is how I also know that women cannot be, they not the same as men. They get paid the same. They not the same. We advocated for them to make the same amount of money. They not the same. They not the same. Because ain't no way in the world I would have my girl out there. Nope. Quitting. That's crazy, bro. Crazy. Anyways, hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. It's a wild world that we live in. Let me read a few super chats, and then we can move over into Trump. We got to get to Trump. You know what I'm saying? Got to get to the Trumpster. Shout out to Chris Cunningham, says you was a YN yesterday. Kareem Bona says, I live in downtown LA. Let me make this clear. These are all grown adults, majority non-black. I can see that. That's clear. That is clear that they majority non-black. Jamal Bradley says, same in downtown Indy when I visited. Cops everywhere. They are not playing around. It was very nice to go out with no ignorance. Yeah, Indianapolis don't mess around either. That's a conference city. Indianapolis is a conference city. All right, y'all. Let's move over into Trump. So we got to deal with Trump. Trump is talking EU tariffs, and he said that it's going to be delayed until July 9th. July 9th is actually my brother's birthday, my youngest brother's birthday. But he answers some questions like he always does. Let me go ahead and present it to you guys. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
Done a lot of good work over the last couple of days. Being at West Point yesterday was incredible. What incredible people they are. And I think it was a very big success, and it was an honor to be there. Very importantly, we had some very good talks with Iran yesterday and today, and let's see what happens. But I think we could have some good news on the Iran front. Likewise with Hamas on Gaza. We want to see if we can stop that. And Israel, we've been talking to them, and we want to see if we can stop that.
This is Pod 5. The first fully immersive sleep system.
Hey,
intelligent.
Hold on,
adaptive,
wait a minute.
Effortless.
We ain't got the premium no more. Oh, we on that one. All right, let me spin this around. Hold on, we gotta switch this account. All right, there we go.
Hamas on Gaza.
I like that.
We want to see if we can stop that. And Israel, we've been talking to them, and we want to see if we can stop that whole situation as quickly as possible. But having to do with nuclear, we've had some very, very good talks with Iran, and I don't know if I'll be telling you anything good or bad over the next 2 days, but I have a feeling I might be telling you something good. We've had some real progress, serious progress. On any other front, I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Do you have a message for the Senate? A lot of Republicans have said there are going to be significant changes to the budget bill.
Well, I want the Senate and the senators to change, to make the changes they want, and we'll go back to the House and we'll see if we can get them. In some cases, those changes maybe are something I'd agree with, to be honest. It happens. But we've had a very good response from the Senate, and I don't know how Democrats can't vote for it. If they don't vote for it, they're talking about a 68% tax increase. Remember that. If the Democrats don't vote, it's a 68% tax increase, which is ridiculous. And one of the things that's being covered indirectly is the fact that we'll be lowering the cost of drugs from 50 to 85% under Trump. And it's going to have indirectly something to do, not directly, but indirectly something to do with the bill, the one big, beautiful bill. And it is a big, beautiful bill. And so I think the Senate is going to get there. I hope they're going to get there. I think they're going to have changes. Some will be minor and some will be, fairly significant. But we've been working with the House all the way up. They've been working together. And the Speaker...
Yeah, I need the white hat too. I need the white hat 4547. Make America Great Again hat too.
Has been working with the leader of the Senate, and they've done a great job. John Thune and Mike Johnson have done a fantastic job. They've been working together all the way up, so hopefully that'll be fine.
President Trump, he's under federal investigation. Do you have a comment on that and how that should impact the mayoral election coming up?
No, I was surprised. I didn't know exactly. I just read about it just like you did, having to do with Andrew. I've known Andrew, and we've had an on-off relationship. He was saying the greatest things about me. I'm the greatest president, etc. And then the next day it hit us. But I did a lot for them. I brought in the ship during the COVID crisis. I brought in the Mercy ship, and I built about 3,000 units in the Javits Convention Center, and he didn't use them. I don't understand. He wanted them, but he didn't use them. But I hope it's going to be okay. I hope it's not going to be serious for him. Let's see what happens.
You spoke to European Commission President von der Leyen. Did you discuss the 50% tariffs, and did you agree to remove?
She just called me, as you know, and she asked for an extension on the June 1st date. And she said she wants to get down to serious negotiation because I told you specifically, but I told anybody that would listen, they have to do that. And we had a very nice call, and I agreed to move it. I believe July 9th would be the date. That was the date she requested. Could we move it from June 1st to July 9th? And I agreed to do that. And that she said we will rapidly get together and see if we can work something out.
Don't ever say that Trump has never done nothing for y'all. To everybody over there in Europe and the European Union, don't ever say Trump ain't never did nothing. Don't say that he ain't never gave you a handout. Don't say that he ain't never gave you an alley-oop. He has given you an alley-oop. You requested for an extension. The European Union is doing the same thing that, and he's negotiating with a woman, by the way, or women. The European Union is doing the same thing that y'all doing with y'all student loans. You know you got to pay them. You know you're going to have to pay them. You can't discharge them in bankruptcy. You can't act like they don't exist. You can't deny them. You can't, what else? Let's see. How do they get rid of them? Bankruptcy. But you can't get rid of them. They're going to be waiting for you. You can sit there and keep delaying it. You can go and ask for a reprieve. There is going to be no student loan forgiveness going forward. You have to address it. You got to address it. So yes, we're going to give you an extension over till July 9th. So that's another 5 weeks. You get 5 additional weeks to come to a conclusion. Otherwise, we're going to put 50% tariffs on that ass.
You announced on Friday about U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel. Yeah. What will the ownership structure look like? What made you
it'll be controlled by the United States. Otherwise, I wouldn't make the deal. I went to the unions, to all of the local unions. They all wanted it. And I'm doing it because all of the congressmen came in, about 5 of them, and the others, I understand, are in concurrence, and they asked that I do it. Everybody seems to want it, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the final is, but they're going to invest billions of dollars in steel, and it's a good company. Nissan's a very good company. We'll see. But it's an investment, and it's a partial ownership, but it'll be controlled by the USA.
So remember, you guys, when Biden had dropped out of the race and Kamala Harris then came in, and then Trump was basically saying, listen, we're going to be putting tariffs on other countries. And then he also said that I'm going to stop the sale of U.S. steel. I think it was over in Pittsburgh or something like that? I'm not sure exactly where it's over at, but this particular division of U.S. Steel, they basically saying that they wanted to stop the sale of it, because Nippon Steel from Japan. Now you got to remember, Japan and the Japanese is an ally of the United States of America. They're also in negotiation for making sure that they have reduced tariffs so that they can make informed investments or specific type of investments inside of the United States of America to bring more jobs here in the United States. Now, Trump used this as leverage, because one of the things that he kept on stomping on is making sure that he passed his new tax bill. Now, when he passed the new tax bill, a lot of people were holding out because why? Because people have to make sure that they're getting certain things for their district. So you, as a Congress member, you have no leverage if you have no ability to negotiate and then add value into the conversation as far as making sure that you pass this bill. All the Democrats, they're not getting anything. So you ain't got to worry about them over in Dallas. You don't have to worry about them over there in the Bronx. You ain't got to worry about AOC's district. You ain't got to worry about Jasmine Crockett's district. They're not working for their people. They're not working for their constituents. All they doing is being social media stars, and they trying to make sure that they raise enough money and campaign money to get more visibility so that they can keep their seats in Congress, so that the House people can keep their seats and all of that. Trump leveraged it as a negotiating tactic and said, listen, we'll allow for these people to invest in whatever it is that's going to affect your district, but I'm going to need your votes so that we can pass this bill. This is one of the reasons that he was probably on Capitol Hill. He's now mentioning it. So you got to remember, they don't always talk about what they talk about behind the scenes. Trump has probably been the most transparent president that we've had ever, right? They don't always talk about what goes on behind the scenes. But he did mention it in this. He said, listen, 5 different members actually asked for this. And then the rest of the people were saying that we think that it's a good deal. Trump is a negotiator. It is the art of the deal. It's one of the reasons why he was able to get this bill passed through, is because at some point you got to give concessions. You got to give a little to get a little. Give a little to get a lot. Everybody benefits. This is what we do. But at the same time, you see a lot of liberals, all they're doing is complaining. They're not asking for anything because they're not actually working with the members to make sure that they pass through and get stuff done.
President Trump on Saudi Arabia, you came back with a lot of investments. There's an American who's stuck there and facing a trial for tweets. His family want you to intervene and ask the Crown Prince to let him go. What do you think about that?
I haven't heard about it at all. If you give me the information on the plane, are you on the plane? Give me the information. I'll see what I can do. Do you think he's okay?
I'm a reporter. I can't. I know.
Are you giving a recommendation?
No, I'm not. Okay.
Well, then maybe I won't do it. I don't know. You tell me the way you posed the question. I thought you said it was okay. What did he do supposedly?
He sent some political tweets about Saudi Arabian politics.
Were they bad?
He said he approved of renaming a street in D.C. It was fairly innocent stuff by American standards.
Let me take a look.
Can you provide us an update on Russia and Ukraine?
You know what one of the strongest characteristics of leadership is to admit when you don't necessarily know everything. If somebody brings up something, and this is just a learning lesson, and maybe he hasn't been informed or maybe he's not familiar with what certain things is, if somebody brings something to you and they say, hey, man, what do you think about this? If you don't know nothing about it, all you got to do is say, hey, I don't know nothing about that. That's the way. I haven't heard anything, send it to me. I do it all the time. Y'all be like, Anton, have you heard about this? I might have heard a little bit of something about it, but I haven't researched it. I'm not familiar with the situation as extensively as I probably can to speak on it. I say, hey, send me what you got into my email. Send me what you got into my email. People come to me all the time. Rita comes to me, for example, or somebody can come to me and they can say, hey, they're asking for this, or the contractors are saying this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And I say, okay, well, what did they recommend? Well, they're saying that this is the best course of action. Okay, well, what do you think? I agree with them. All right, well, go ahead and get it done. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. People think that people that are in leadership positions, and it don't have to be a huge CEO. It could be a CEO. It could be CEO of your household. You could be talking about your own small business. Really, people just want the confidence that they already have in themselves to be confirmed by you when they're making a decision. I can tell you that Trump is probably never negotiating all of these deals. He has emissaries. He has people that are negotiating on his behalf. He has some of the smartest people around him. They go out, they do the deal. They say, Trump, we need you to come in and push this deal through. That's when he comes in and he say, you know what? If y'all don't do this, and I'm going to go ahead and do this 50% tariff. He probably checks with his people. Does that make sense, 50%? What do you recommend the tariff should be? Yep, it should be 50%. All right, 50% tariff, and we can't get this deal done because we had an impasse. As a leader, you are supposed to know a little bit about everything, but you don't have to necessarily be the expert. You don't have to be the expert in every single field. You have to have leverage. You have to have the ability to negotiate. You have to build great relationships. You have to create a great culture. You have to have great people that love you, that has loyalty to you, that is the experts. You got to be able to vet the right people for the right thing, but also be able to figure out whether or not they're on bullshit. That's all that leadership is. Is working your way up, understanding how things work, being able to relate to the people, and building a great team. 100%. People will hit me up all the time. Q, every single week. Every week, Q hit me up and she sent me 3 or 4 different subjects. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I say, I don't know about that one. Swap that one out, and then grab this. Or sometimes she'll hit me up and say, yo, I think these is dope. And so I look at you and I say, I don't even look at them. And she'll say, hey, check them out. So then I look at them. You know what you're doing? All right, cool. Let's rock. We rolling. A lot of people need confidence in them. That even goes for your own household. You know why your women don't listen to you? You know why your women don't subject themselves to you? Because you don't exert masculinity and confidence. They don't trust you. They don't trust your leadership skills. Anton says, watch your language, crybabies. Yeah, they don't trust your leadership skills. If you have a woman, let me tell you something. You know how I could tell you right away on if y'all actually are respected in your household. You know how I know? How they label you. She don't say, oh, let me check with my husband. She says, you know what? My partner has to check with me first before we do anything. You can't just go out and buy something and then she just be like, that makes sense. They have no confidence in you. They have no confidence in you whatsoever. The minute that I hear a woman says my partner, I know there's a whole nother dynamic. Women are babies. Women are babies. Women are babies. They want to be babies. They want to be little babies in your arms, and they just want to be nosy. What's going on? They want to feel like they're a part of it. What's going on here? They don't really want to know about that shit. They don't want to know that. They just want to be nosy so they can tell their girlfriends, yeah, girl, we doing this. We got a lot going on. They just want to be nosy. They don't really want nothing. Not in real life. They don't really want nothing. They babies. Grown women are really just babies. Y'all were so stupid to go out there and advocate to be equal. That was so dumb of y'all. Why would y'all want it? Why would y'all want the burden that we got to deal with? That was the dumbest thing that I ever heard anybody do. Give me more burden. You so stupid. Now you got to suffer. Now you got to go through what we go through in order to be successful, instead of just being successful. What we got next? Y'all want to talk about some money next? Let's talk about some money. Let's get back to the money. I want to talk about no more politics right now. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Who's y'all? I'm all set. You said you ain't trying to be out here in these streets. That's my partner. If you have a partner, you're not partners. We are not partners. I'm the man, you the woman. That's it. We both got roles that we got to play. Don't partner mean they play for the same team? I don't know. I ain't never had a partner. Y'all want to talk about some money? GNL says talk about money being spent on foreign wars before forgiving student loans. Talk about the money being spent on foreign wars before forgiving student loans. What do you want me to talk about it? Listen, two things can be true at the same time. No, we should not be spending money on wars, and you shouldn't get a student loan forgiveness. For whatever reason, y'all think that y'all deserve to get student loan forgiveness. You don't. Listen, you took out the loan, pay it back. Why do y'all think that y'all need student loan forgiveness? Just a question. Just a question. Why do y'all feel like y'all need student loan forgiveness? Pay it back. Well, you don't deserve student loan forgiveness. No, we should not be giving money to foreign wars, but that don't mean that we reallocate it to student loan forgiveness. Pay your student loans and stop asking for handouts. Better go sell some box. Better go sell some box. If you buy a car, you take out a loan for the car, but you don't like the car anymore. Can you just not pay for it? No, absolutely not. You can get it repossessed. Even in repossession, once they sell that car at auction, you're going to still owe the difference. That burden is still yours. Still yours. Anyways, let's continue on with the show. I want to pivot over to, let's go to Atlanta. Let's talk about housing real quick. Let me switch this. They did a thing on Stealthy Wealthy. They say 38,000 homes are owned by only 3 companies over in Metro Atlanta. Have y'all heard about that? Here, let me do this. Let's talk about homes. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. And let's get to it.
He found that just 3 corporations own nearly 38,000 homes in Metro Atlanta. Channel 2's Michael Dowdna is in Henry County, and he found that in some counties, corporations are buying up more than half of entire neighborhoods.
When you take a look at the neighborhood behind me, you would never usually guess that most of these homes are now rentals, but it's becoming a more and more common sight, as in counties like Paulding and Henry, nearly 1 in every 10 homes is now owned by a corporation. It's a change that some neighbors say they've seen firsthand.
It means a great deal to be able to own this and leave something for my family.
For Darren Clark, he achieved a lifelong goal when he bought a home in this Henry County neighborhood. But over the past few years, things have changed.
I'd say at least about 60% of the homes around me are probably owned by the corporations.
It's a growing trend of homes owned by corporations, not people, with just 3 companies owning nearly 38,000 homes in the metro area.
I think that's a sad state of affairs that these companies will be able to price out the average home buyer.
This is ultimately unlike anything we have ever seen before.
Georgia State professor Taylor Shelton did the study, and he says when corporations control a large market share, that allows them to control prices, include junk fees, and neglect maintenance.
So that means that these companies are able to get away with a lot more than they would otherwise because there's no competition. They have essentially crowded out their competitors.
And other research backs up those statements, as a recent study from Georgia Tech found large landlords were 4 to 5 times more likely to have code complaints than their smaller counterparts.
That's because they're not connected with their properties. All right, so you got 3 different types of landlords, right? You got you have the traditional, I bought a property and I no longer want to live in it anymore, and I don't want to sell it for whatever reason. Some people chose not to sell because the price was underwater, but at the same time, they wanted to lower their mortgage. It could be for a bevy of reasons, or maybe they want to get into real estate, right? And so there'll be a traditional home buyer. They didn't get into it for regular real estate, but now they no longer want to be subjected to having to pay the mortgage, or they want to move somewhere else, or whatever. So they move and then they rent it out. Those type of landlords catch hell. And the reason that they catch hell is because they're depending on you to pay the mortgage for them to be able to sustain themselves. A lot of times when people get out of the real estate game, or they get disgusted at being in real estate, is because they were that type of investor. They wasn't an investor in the real estate. They was just trying to hold on to the property. But they didn't know how to vet effectively. And so what happens is they have a bad experience. Maybe a tenant didn't pay their rent on time, or the tenant is late. And so, that's going to affect their credit, or they have to go and pull money out of their own money in order to pay the mortgage and wait for the tenant to pay them back. Or when the tenant left, they didn't leave the property ideal. They didn't have the money to fix it back up. But they went in there and did their own repairs. Maybe something broke down. They still got to fix it. And so they don't really know the true cost of being a landlord. They own the property. They like the fact that the person is paying the rent, but they don't like the experience. And so some people will try to then hire a management company, which I think is stupid, because the management company basically takes, I think, 10% to 15% of whatever the rent is. You're gonna fail, honestly. You're generally gonna, because you're not looking at it from a business perspective. A lot of times people do it because somebody told them to do it, not because they actually understand it or they love it for themselves. And so you'll fail that way. You only need one bad experience, and then you'll talk to them at a gas station. I know a guy that owns a gas station. He said, "Anton, I can't do it, man. I don't know how you do it." And I said, "What happened?" "Man, my tenant moved out after not paying rent for 2 months, and they left the property mess up. Then I had to spend another $10,000 in order to bring it back up to speed, and then I don't know how to vet." It's because they don't understand the game. They don't understand the game. So that is the first person. The second person is probably somebody more or less like me. Not exactly like me, because very rarely do you see people that actually buy them or build them cash, don't have anything slowing them down. And so we don't have to worry about cash flow on the property because we don't have no mortgage. We've been doing it for a long time. We understand the pros and the cons. We know what to look for. We're not institutional investors because we don't have a whole lot of investment capital that's backing us. We're not using other people's money to do it, but we are a little bit more seasoned, and so we understand the game. We are the ones that know that flippers don't really got no money. All right. Flippers, a lot of times, are people that are trying to be like us. Flippers are 2 to 3 months off from losing everything. I know y'all watch Flip That House or House Hunters or HGTV, where they were flipping it and all of that stuff. It is the most unglorious form of real estate investment that you can ever get in. Flippers have the most stressful lives of anybody in the real estate game. They have the most stressful lives of anybody in the real estate game, because a lot of times they have to raise capital. When they tell you not to use your own money, cool. You one step away from losing your shirt. One step away from losing your shirt. I did see that. I seen it, Jude. I'm going to do a review video. And so they don't really have no money to do it. They know how to get to the property. They know how to hopefully turn a profit. But flippers are basically up against time, because this is the thing that they was kind of teaching y'all with, what was the guy? Caesar, the Caesar guy that was under fire all last year. And they try to do these seminars where they line y'all up with people that'll give y'all hard money loans. And those make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. I deep dive way deeper than this in the Patreon. But they try to give y'all hard money loans. And a hard money loan is basically a high interest rate. It's like being indebted to the mob. but you're paying that interest every single month. And so you got a threshold that you got to meet. So you got to hurry up and get this property flipped and sold in a certain amount of time in order to make a profit, because you got to pay the interest on that hard money loan every single month. It's a miserable existence. I would never tell somebody to ever go and flip properties. It's horrible. It's horrible. If any delay, they don't pass an inspection, don't pull the right permit, contractor is slow, maybe his mother got sick or something, you hit. You're hit. XJW, you don't have to explain to these people. You don't have to explain to these people. They cut every corner. They try to just do cosmetic work. They don't necessarily do anything, you know what I'm saying? They're not actually trying to add value. It's just all smoke and mirrors. Most flippers are all smoke and mirrors. All right. And then the last type of investor is the institutional investors. The institutional investors are the people that own over 38,000 homes in Atlanta, right? Because they know they all want to live there. And I think that there's a case to be made for renting and versus buying. A lot of y'all are just going to be renting even if you bought it anyway, because you're going to keep on taking out the mortgage and pulling the equity out of the property. Your property taxes is going up. Your HOA fees is high. And so you're just trying to survive. Your life is no better than the person that is renting. As a matter of fact, some people that bought houses hate it. They house poor and they don't like it. But institutional investors are basically hedging because they know that real estate is not making no more. You're not making no more land. It is a really great place in order to generate revenue and capital. And it's a stable place to put your money in because it is actually insured, or not even insured. The collateral of the property itself justifies the investment. And so people are now mad and they saying, oh man, we don't like this. They pricing us out of the market. There are tons of homes for sale. I think that Friday or Thursday, I did a video where I showed y'all that it's a surplus of homes on the market. Remember when Kamala Harris, when she was going through and she was trying to say, oh, the problem is homes aren't affordable because it's not enough on the market. That's not true. I'm going to build 1 million new homes. It's already 2.5 million homes for sale right now. It's just the dynamics of affordability along with institutional investors, specific markets that you want to get into. It's a whole nother conversation.
When you're not a homeowner, you don't take pride in the property because you're just renting. So you figure like it's not mine. So whatever.
Yeah, what are the three companies? Three companies are, they put it on there. What was it? Here they are. Progress Residential, Main Street Renewal, and Invitation Homes. I'm sure most of y'all have heard of Invitation Homes before. Progress Residential, Main Street Renewal, and Invitation Homes. A lot of times these companies are extensions of much larger companies of hedge funds that create these new companies, or they create these LLCs in order to basically manage that part of the portfolio or investment. All right. So don't go so much by the names. Go more or less about the fact that they own over 38,000 homes, which is the equivalent of about 12,500 homes apiece.
In the metro area.
I think that's a sad state of affairs that these companies will be able to price out the average home buyer.
This is ultimately unlike anything we have ever seen before. Georgia State professor Taylor Shelton did the study, and he says when corporations control a large market share, that allows them to control prices, include junk fees, and neglect maintenance. And so that means that these companies are able to get away with a lot more than they would otherwise because there's no competition. They have essentially crowded out their competitors. And other research backs up those statements, as a recent study from Georgia Tech found large landlords were 4 to 5 times more likely to have code complaints than their smaller.
When y'all get mad at y'all regular landlords because, oh my God, I can't believe it, they won't let me have a rent moratorium and have an extension, then people are struggling a lot of times just like you. They trying to make it every single day. They need your money to pay the mortgage. That's the point that I was making about this whole thing. When you see these small landlords, most of the time they own one property, 1 or 2 tops, and they be pulling their hair out. They be stressed as hell every single day. It is not passive. It is not passive. They got a $100 surplus hoping that you don't move out, because then they got to go a month without payment and they got to return your security deposit. And they got to start paying a mortgage over and flip it over and then try to find a new tenant. They do not want you to leave. They don't want you to not pay. The small time landlords are the ones that was getting their ass kicked during COVID. Real talk.
Counterparts.
When you're not a homeowner, you don't take pride in the property because you're just renting. So you feel like it's not mine. So whatever.
For those like Darren, they want to see changes that give people a leg up over corporations so that more of his neighbors can go back to being homeowners instead of renters.
It's going to be hard, a hard hill to climb to be able to dig out of, from underneath the corporations owning so many properties. They're just going to keep snatching them up.
Now, Senator John Ossoff has launched an investigation into corporate landlords, but he has not given an estimated time when there may be legislation.
Ain't gonna be no legislation from these senators. They chilling. They having a good time. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're gonna move over into the next part of the show. I seen a video that I want to go over with you guys. I think it was on CNN about Stealthy Wealthy. H. Cole says, which brand is your shirt? I'll go and figure it out in a minute because I'm not about to rip my collars out trying to show y'all exactly what brand my shirt is. You see the little X right here, the stitching of the X? Brown ass, I'll figure it out in a minute. Brown ass says, I own properties in California is becoming an incorporation state, which will become a renter state instead of private home. Oh, man, Brown ass, I don't know how you do it. You own properties in California. You know how hard it is to get people that don't pay their rent out of your properties. I knew somebody had booked a coaching call with me, him and his wife. It was an African couple. And they said, Anton, this is what problems we having with our tenants. We can't get them out. Man, the laws against landlords in California is egregious. Dude says, hey, Anton, I'm a bag chaser. I'm 29 years old, married man, making close to $100,000 of your content out of objectivity and wisdom on making money. Trying to work on budgeting like a business. Oh, you've been watching the Patreon videos. God knew I needed your page. Y'all, if y'all really trying to get your money together, if you're really trying to understand how to make money and keep more money inside of your pocket and reduce your taxes, go to my video inside of the Patreon that says budget like a business. It was a live stream that I'm going to do, or that I did, and I'm going to do a part 2 of it. This week on Wednesday, we got the content creation live stream, so we're going to talk about that. BlackRock, Brownstone, and Vanguard are buying up homes also. Yeah, that's happening all across the United States of America. It's a stable investment. It's a smart investment. Anton, what do you think the American dream is now? It depends on the person. It depends on the person. If you ask me, okay, asking me what my dreams are today as a 43-year-old man is much different than what the American dream is. I think that the American dream today, for most people, man, it depends on the region. Honestly, I don't even think the American dream is to like own a home or anything like that. I think that the American dream really is just to have peace and stability. I think that the American dream is stability. I think that matter of fact, here, let me answer it like this. I think the American dream for most people today is to not have any debt. It's not debt. The American dream for most people, it used to be sold as a big house or a middle-class house, white picket fence with a dog and 2 kids and a wife. That ain't it no more. People don't care about no marriage. They dogs is licking them in the mouth. Most women are cat ladies. They feel like their homes is affordable in the city that they in. And I think that most people just don't want to have no debt. Most people don't want to have debt. And I'm going to tell you another thing that's not being discussed. And then we can move over into Stealthy Wealthy. People are absolutely terrified. They are terrified of layoffs and not having enough money when they retire, or when a lot of people are doing the you know what, I'm just not going to think about it. You know what? Hopefully my kids is taking care of me hopefully I'll be okay. Man, maybe I'll hit the lottery one day. Most people is just trying to figure it the fuck out. Real talk. Most people just trying to figure it out. People are you know why people lash out at me so much? You know why people lash out at me so much? Because it's their own insecurities and they having their own problems. That's when they start saying stuff like, true wealth is making it heaven. I got news for you. Some of the people that God loved the most was incredibly successful. God preaches against poverty. He preaches against being poor. He says the meek shall inherit the earth, not poor people. Not poor people. God advocates for people to be successful. He talks about talents. He talks about nurturing. He talks about leveraging whatever it is that you have in order to make the most of it, to be as productive as possible. That's what it is. Most people then say, or they use it as an excuse, because it doesn't mean that you shouldn't still love God, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you have to subject yourself to the devil and his ways because you don't have no choice. Whenever you have to do something, when you have to do something and you don't have no other fucking choice, that's slavery. You can frame it however you want to frame it. You can say, oh man, most of us just need to be regular. You can keep telling other people what they should do with their money because you ain't got nothing to manage on your own. You can do all of that when you want to. Ultimately, slavery is having no choices, no future. You're going to work till you die. And if you don't, you're going to be living on the street and you don't have any other choice to be forced to do something that you don't want to do and don't have no choice in doing it. And all you have to look forward to is doing that. That's what slavery is. It's a mindset before it actually manifests itself into something physical. Most people, the American dream is to get out of debt. If they can get out of credit card debt, they would be absolutely 100% ecstatic. 100% ecstatic. People hate having to pay that mortgage every month. They hate that credit card. You know what people hate most? Student loans. Student loans. People hate student loans. That's why they keep asking for forgiveness. What do you mean? What do you mean forgiveness? You know what the meaning of forgiveness is? It doesn't mean that you don't have to be responsible for what you did. Listen, if you murder somebody, the person, that family that you murdered, they can forgive you, but you still got to go to jail. Yeah, I forgive you for not paying your student loans and forcing taxpayers not to get their money back, but I'm gonna need you to get it up to speed, get it up to snuff. Don't mean you still don't have to pay your student loans. I forgive you for being late, but it don't mean that you don't have to pay your student loans. People want to get out of debt and they want to have some sex and they want other people to like them and they want a nice car. That's really what it comes down to. They want other people to like them. They want a nice car. They don't want to have to be subjected to debt, and they want to enjoy life. And then their requirements are going to change depending on where they are in their life at that particular time. Women want to take trips, right? You're right. Women want to take trips, and they want to have a good time. We deserve student loan forgiveness for one reason. Israel is not right. You don't deserve nothing. Are you a woman, GNL? Because you got a lot of entitlement. You keep on. That's what women say. I deserve a good man. I deserve. No, you shouldn't have took that shit out in the first place. You shouldn't have took it. Ukraine is repaying. That's why they did the mineral rights deal. You got to be a woman. You have to be a woman. You have to be a woman. 100% have to be a woman. Got to be a woman, 100%. Either you're a woman or you're a gay man. 100%. Pay me my money. Pay me my money. But I do. I think that a lot of people have a difficult time reasoning with themselves. Think about this, bro. Let's say you take out a 30-year mortgage. 30-year mortgage. I never was going to take out a 30-year mortgage. What up to my girl sister? I love you. Let's say you take out a 30-year mortgage. That's 30 years. 30 years. 30 years. You know how long 30 years is? Man, I'm going to be paying the bank interest for 30 years. Bruh, if you take out a mortgage when you're 40, I mean, if you don't do any refinancing, then you got to hope to not lose your job. And you got to pay your property taxes on time. And you got to do the upkeep of the home. You won't be done paying it until you're 70. 70. Greatest finesse of all time. Greatest finesse of all time. People dread getting that mortgage every single month. People dread getting those credit cards every single month, that credit card statement every month. People hate it. They 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 hate it. It's insane. People dream. I think the American dream. Y'all all gonna start to figure out that I've been right this entire time that I had the Millionaire Morning Show. And you're gonna one day learn. You're gonna wake up when you old as hell, and you're gonna realize Anton was right all of this time. I shouldn't have been trying to pretend like I was humble in front of all of the people. I should have just stood my ground. You know what men think? There was a woman earlier in the show and she said, people don't say that on their deathbed. People don't say this on their deathbed. Who the fuck cares? You on your deathbed. Don't nobody even care about you. One day, we're all going to die. That's the reality of it. While you sitting on your deathbed waiting to pass away, if you just so happen to be fortunate enough to make it to that time, nobody will care about what it is that what your revelation is. Live it up. Live it up. The people that you were fake humble about, guess what? They gonna all be dead too. Think about this for a second. You're trying to pretend to be humble to people that will never meet you in real life, most of them, and they gonna die too. Why would I be caring about what other motherfuckers think and they got their own journey that they got to figure out? That person that wants you to be humble, they struggling. They struggling. They gonna die one day. When I cut this live stream off, guess what? You got to go back to your regular life. Amazon still need their packages delivered. I still need my fries hot. I still want my fries hot. Angelic Storm says, but Anton, rent is $2,000. It don't have to be. You don't have to get rent that's $2,000. No, you want to go live in a certain city, in a certain area. You want to be independent by yourself or whatever. Most of y'all need to go back and live with your parents. You need to go home. You need to go home. Go with what that meant. Listen. You know how to humble a woman? Do you know how to humble a woman? Better go out there and be independent. Neo sang Miss Independent to y'all, and he got 4 women depending on him. Neo sung Miss Independent to y'all, and he got 4 women depending on him. Go home. Go home. Take your monkey ass home. Keep on trying to threaten your husband. I could do bad by myself. Then do it then, Cletus. You ain't said nothing to the word, Cletus. Do it then. Do bad by yourself. Go trade your time in for money and then go and do it. Proof, show me. I don't believe you. Prove it. Ain't nothing. Oh, she gonna humble. She gonna have a whole new meek spirit. Hey, babe. How's it going today? You sleep well? Let me make you something to eat. You ain't got to talk to her. Let her do her thing. My number one rule in life is I will never, ever ask somebody to do something that they don't want to do. You could work for me. I don't like it. You ain't got to say nothing but a word. Me and you got a disagreement? You are free to. I will never. Nope, we ain't got to do no contracts. I don't even do contracts. I don't do contracts at all. If somebody ever decide that they don't want to pay their rent, you're more than welcome to leave. Never had nobody leave. I've never had to do a rent renewal, ever. Everybody can be on a month to month. You could do whatever you want to do. You don't want to be here? You don't have to. You want to be here? You absolutely can be. It's up to you. However you want to play. I don't care. I live my life day to day. I am a day-to-day ass motherfucker. I'm going to do the thing that's going to pay off in the future, but at the same time, I'm in the moment right now. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I am a day-to-day, everyday type of person. I don't care. People be calling me, hey man, what do you think we should do? I don't know, whatever you want to do. Somebody said I'm a bad landlord. Really? My tenants would say differently. Have you ever rented a property from me? Are you my tenant? Are you my tenant? It's always people that don't got no profile picture. You know what? New rule for me personally. I will never, I'm going to focus on, I'm not going to say never because it's probably going to take me a minute to get through it. I will never, ever, or I'm going to focus on trying not to respond to people that don't have a profile picture. If you do not have a profile picture, then that means that you are, as far as I'm concerned, you just got done beating your meat and you got baby juice inside of your socks. You got hard socks on the floor as far as I'm concerned. If you don't have a profile pic, you don't exist. That means you're not even a real person. You don't have confidence in yourself. You don't have confidence in yourself. So anyways, let's continue on with the show. Let me read some of these super chats. Institutions are buying up single-family homes and turning them into 16 units or more. It brings more revenue into the city and the state. Facts. This might be a dumb question, but what is the definition of being a Democrat and the definition of being a Republican, or what does each stand for? Okay. I say this all the time, and it's a general idea. Being a Democrat means that you are looking for the government to do something for you in a general sense. And it could be social services. It could be you want more government. You want more governing. You want more rules. You want all of that, more regulation. You want them to participate in making sure that they distribute money to you. You want some kind of assistance. You want big government. Republican means to want smaller government and less regulation. So the Democrats want government to play a bigger role in their lives. A Republican wants the government to play a smaller role in their lives. The Democrats are looking for the government to do something more for them. Republicans want smaller government to get out of their way so they can do more for themselves. That is the basic, on the very basic level, what it means to be a Democrat versus being a Republican. It is that simple. Democrats want bigger government. Republicans want smaller government. Democrats believe that the government should play a bigger role in their lives. The Republicans believe that the government should play a smaller role in their lives. Democrats believe in more taxes so that the government can manage what happens in society. Republicans believe in less taxes so that you can do what you want to do with your own money. It is a very, very basic premise of what it means to be a Democrat versus a Republican. Democrats believe in taxing people more so that they can determine what happens with your money, whether it be to distribute it overseas or have more of an influence in propaganda in Ghana, and that they need to be embracing diversity, equity, and inclusion, that they need to distribute more of your money over to poor people, have more social services, that we need tax, higher taxes. Republicans believe less taxes, less government, get the fuck out of the way, less regulation. People should be able to choose if you want an electric car or if you want a gas-powered car. The market is going to determine it. We believe that we should have investment and we should put America first so that we protect our rights and that everybody else come after us. Immigrants, people coming into this country, you're second class to the people that are born in the United States of America as U.S. citizens. It is very, 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 Very simple. Very simple. That's it. That's the difference between being a Democrat and a Republican. So whatever it is that your parents taught you, whatever it is that your church taught you, oh no, that means you're a Democrat if you're black. You got to be black if you're. That's not what it means. It's not what it means. It means that we let the market determine what happens. We let people be innovative. We let people determine how it is that they want to live their lives, how they're going to spend their own money, all of that. But at the same time, you have to be accountable and responsible for what you do. If you take out a student loan, then you need to pay it back, because it is not the government's responsibility to take it, to take care of your student loans. That is your choice. That is what being a Republican is. Taking ownership, accountability, and smaller government. That's it. That's it. That's it. And put Americans first. So I think it's a very simple choice. Modzil says, new bag chaser here. Shout out to the new bag chasers. Culture call one day. That's a fact. I got you. Brown Eye says, Anton, you are correct about landlords in LA. Tenants do not have to pay us because of policy. That's crazy to me. You never own the land once your home is paid for. Trump is talking about changing that. Yeah, I think they need to change that also. And property taxes is disrespectful. All right. GNL is gay, y'all. GNL is gay. All right, y'all. Let's move over to the next part of the show. I only want to talk about one more thing, and then we're gonna go from there. And I'll let y'all go for Memorial Day. Let me see. How does the stealthy wealthy make money? I seen this pop up on my timeline, and I didn't want to watch it without y'all. And so I said that I would just go ahead and review it with y'all. So let's take 10 minutes and let's review this video, and then let's go from there. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and then turn on your notifications.
The net worth for somebody in their 20s, it's under $8,000.
Well, wait a minute.
But too often the perception.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure. All right. Yep. We got the right account. It's premium.
Of where and how to make the most money is media and personality influenced. In television, film, and music, we glamorize Wall Street and Silicon Valley, not middle America. But business ownership in any town USA is increasingly the foundation for our very highest wage earners. As Juliet Chung of the Wall Street Journal recently reported, behind a paycheck, the largest source of income for the 1% highest earners in the US isn't being a partner at an investment bank or launching a 1 in a million tech startup. It's owning a medium-sized regional business. Many of them are distinctly boring and extremely lucrative, like auto dealerships, beverage distributors, grocery stores, dental practices, and law firms. That analysis was based on the work of Owen Zadar, a Princeton University economist, and Eric Zwick, an economist at the University of Chicago. Dr. Zadar will join me in just a moment. The two are soon to publish a book on this very subject. They studied anonymized tax data from 2000 to 2022. Their focus, S corporations and partnerships. Typical of those were medium-sized businesses with annual sales of 20 million and 100 employees. Their findings built off a previous academic paper for which they were co-authors called Capitalists in the 21st Century. From that analysis, quote, our findings draw attention to a class of entrepreneurs hidden from public view, who prevail among top earners and whose human capital income is key for understanding top incomes. The takeaway from both the prior and more recent analysis is that if we examine everyone in the United States and then focus on the top 10% of earners, for most, their main source of income is wages. But for the very top, those at the 0.1% level, it flips. And most of them are getting more of their income through profits from their businesses. Those businesses are typically not in finance, but rather they actively produce goods or services across diverse industries. Professor Zadar and Zwick, they gained access to data about who owns.
So basically what they're telling you is that in order to be a part of the 0.01%, those that are the wealthiest of the wealthiest of the wealthiest, your favorite YouTuber's business person, right? In order to get to that level, you basically have to create something of value that people want. That's what it is. You have to create something to solve a problem in society. That's what it comes back down to. You have to build something. You have to build a house. You have to build a manufacturing facility. You have to serve a purpose. You have to scale up. You have to give people something that they didn't even know what they wanted until you built it for them, until you discovered it for them. That's really what it comes down to. People didn't know that they wanted delivery straight to their houses, straight from the manufacturer, that they didn't have to wait 2 to 3 days from USPS or FedEx or DHL until Amazon told them that the Prime membership would get it straight to your door within the same day. And then they used that in order to scale. And then they built out Amazon Web Services. And then Amazon Web Services provided a service that allowed people to get rid of data centers. That's all it is. Amazon Web Services wasn't built for websites. Amazon Web Services wasn't built for hosting. Amazon Web Services was built to solve a problem. And they basically said, we'll be your data center because we have secure facilities and we know how to build it out. And it takes a lot of infrastructure. So you focus on what you're doing for your business and we'll focus on solving for your data centers. Netflix, focus on making movies. Focus on distributing these movies out to people. Solve for a problem and we'll focus on managing your content and managing where that content is stored. So now Netflix doesn't have to worry about creating their own data centers because somebody solved it for them. It's as simple as that. It's solving. If you want to get filthy rich, you have to solve for a problem. That's it. A lot of people are mad at a lot of liberals. They get mad at Elon Musk, right? Forget Tesla. Let's talk about Starlink. Let's talk about all of the innovations that he's created. Let's talk about building a reusable fucking rocket that NASA couldn't do themselves, that we've funded NASA with billions, if not trillions of dollars. And basically he came in and said, listen, our main focus, one day we want to get to space exploration. We want to terraform Mars. But in the meantime, let me help y'all get back and forth to space with the same technology that we're building so that we can solve for a problem and make it cheaper and easier for you, the United States of America. And then now we don't have to depend on NASA and continue to fund it with taxpayer dollars. We can do it for much cheaper at the same time, solving for a different problem. The same technology that they're using with Starlink, they're using it to create Roam. Roam is a product that I just ordered. Hopefully it gets delivered to my my PO box soon. That allows for you to get internet no matter where you are at higher speed sometimes than your own service providers than your own area. They use the same technology in order to solve for a problem. Next thing you know, you got a hurricane in North Carolina somewhere. The only way that they was able to communicate was through Starlink. People build cars, but they wanted it in mass. They wanted cheaper. Then they invented the factory line, right? The assembly line. Apple, you didn't know you even wanted a smartphone until Apple told you that you wanted a smartphone with a touch screen. Now we have all of this innovation. It's solving for a problem that people didn't even know that they had until you do it. It's the reason why people are so against privatizing the USPS, because they're holding on to traditional things that need to be in some way, shape, or form. I don't know if you privatize it. I don't know if you somehow create some level of innovation that allows for them to not be a losing entity in itself. But they've been doing the same thing bad for a lot of years, and you got a lot of other companies that has innovated the way that you go about delivering things. I did get the Starlink. I got the small one though. I can't imagine carrying the big old one that's in a book bag and then setting it out outside. I got the small one. I only needed to, travel back and forth.
Owns private jets and super yachts. And what do they find among the latter? Sure enough, dozens of auto dealers who live in random towns across America. This Wall Street Journal article also had examples of entrepreneurs who defy stereotypes and show that you can make money at anything in America as long as you do it right. There's Derek Olson, his Minnesota-based business, National Flooring Equipment. They make machines that rip up flooring. He makes millions due to the need for carpet removal at elementary schools in particular. They've got a lot of carpet and the kids make a lot of mess.
Most businesses are boring. Most businesses are boring. We keep looking at entertainers. We keep looking at fucking people that's just, and no, we look at rappers. We look at all of these people that's playing basketball. Most things are boring. If you figure out it's an everyday exercise, all you got to do is pay attention to the things that's around you. Pay attention to the things that's around you. You don't have to have a clothing company. You don't have to have that. You can do solve for the bottle cap or create a better way to beverage companies or paper, or it could be anything dumb. Be things all around you every single day. Every day there are things that are around you that need to be innovated and solved for. It's it. That's it.
Then there's David McNeil. He dropped out of college and sold cars. On a trip to Scotland, he noticed they had superior car floor mats. So he took out a second mortgage, shipped over a bunch of these.
Notice. That is the key word. He noticed something.
These mats to sell. In the first year, he made $40,000. 2 years later, he made 10 times that amount. Today, his Illinois-based company, WeatherTech, you've heard of them.
I have 20 different business ideas that I have written in my notes. Let me write this, do a Patreon live. I'll talk about it with y'all on the Patreon on the content session. Maybe not the content session on this Wednesday. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Hundreds of millions in auto accessories. The point is, America is still the land of opportunity. In fact, it may be truer today than it was 25 years ago. The data show that business owners worth 10 million or higher have more than doubled in the past quarter century, even adjusting for inflation. Sure, it's true that 1/3 inherited their businesses, but most are self-made. And many of these now 1%ers did not grow up themselves in privileged homes.
That's true.
They're ambitious, they're smart, but nor did they graduate from the most prestigious schools.
Which basically dispels the whole myth of generational wealth. Generational wealth. No, most millionaires and most billionaires, most people that wind up getting rich are people that got it out the mud. They are first generation. Most people in the United States of America, they get rich is first generation. It's not about a leg up. It's not about all of that stuff. It's being determined enough and having the balls to put in the work so that you'll ultimately solve for a problem and then add value into people's lives. And that's how you get rich. That's how you get rich.
In fact, many didn't go to college at all. And today they don't live on the coasts. They tend to live somewhere in the middle of the country. There's even a name for this type of success coined by Professor Zadar. They're called the stealthy wealthy. Or as a book first published in 1996 called them, The Millionaires Next Door. The authors of that book, Thomas Stanley and William Danko, a compelling takeaway from that book was that many of the millionaires profiled were not doctors, lawyers, or executives, but skilled tradesmen and small business owners. And you could say that that book has aged well. Its authors found that a significant portion of millionaires were self-employed in what might be considered blue-collar or middle-market industries. Think plumbers, think electricians, contractors, or pest control operators. These individuals often built modest businesses over time. They exercised strict financial discipline and reinvested profits rather than indulging in lifestyle inflation. Unlike high-income professionals who sometimes live paycheck to paycheck in high-status neighborhoods, these tradesmen lived well below their means. They avoided debt. They focused on wealth accumulation rather than status signaling.
Avoided debt. The biggest thing that they're going to market to y'all is that y'all need to take out debt. They avoid debt.
As we discussed here recently, there's an overdue return now at play to teaching some of the trade skills to high school students rather than a continuation of the college for all mindset. Hopefully that will lead to more blue-collar workers getting to the 1%. So graduates of the class of 2025, go forth, strive to establish a medium-sized regional business, seek to deliver goods and services, and you will prosper. Joining me now is Owen Zadar, professor of economics at Princeton. Dr. Zadar, why hasn't this registered with the popular consensus?
Thanks for having me. That's a great question. And I think, one of the biggest misconceptions for graduates is that the way you get rich is by earning high wages. And, that's just not true in the data, as you said, when you look at the very top.
Is it a culture thing? I mean, I can't think of too many that get all the attention in the media, in pop culture, music, film, TV shows that fit the bill you and I are describing, like the guy who's pulling up the carpet in elementary schools and making a fortune because they need a lot of carpet and they got a lot of schools.
Now, some is cultural. I think some, it's just really hard to know who's wealthy. Wealthy people don't answer surveys, and, so you have to rely on who you see in the news and some investigative reporting, but it's hard to get a systematic take of what's going on. I think one of the easiest ways to see it is to ask yourself, who's the richest person in your high school? And almost always the answer is going to be something like one of these beverage distributors, or someone, like in St. Louis, the Tracy family, who's a food redistributor. And, these companies can make hundreds of millions of dollars, and, they just don't show up on anyone's radar.
So basically, all of the myths and all of the things that people think is true is all based off of assumptions and not necessarily based off of reality. Anyways, make sure I hit a like. I think that was a good way to end the show. Make sure I hit a like. And I did almost 3 hours again for y'all. Hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Aaron L says, own paperclip company and be rich. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all are fond of my rants. We have the Q show tonight, but I will be hosting. So Q got the night off so that she can enjoy the holidays and do what she do. And Anton from AntonDaniels.com will be hosting, and I will be handpicking the subjects. I don't know who's going to be on the panel. I'm only handpicking the subjects, and I'm going to be hosting tonight. So make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all tonight. Peace.